Ladies and gentlemen, I was going to do even more off-camera stuff. So I did some off-camera stuff. I basically did all of the side quests off-camera. None of it was particularly interesting, to be quite honest with you, so right call. But the thing that kind of amused me the most, and they didn't do much with it, was one of the side quests was going back to Roland to that mine. You know, the mine that was the source of our first quest in the entire, well, I was going to say game. The first game, right? We had to go grab the Septium, and then there was like a cave-in. Remember that? Well, we go back in there and try to be shocked, but a mine whose only source of reaching the second story is an elevator was having issues. So we came up with this actually really funny solution where we had our own personal zero field generator, and we held it up to like this one part of the elevator so it would work for a second, and then it would work for a second, and then so this elevator's like chikung, 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 chikung until we could get down there. Anyways, eventually we get down there, and oh my god, it's the same enemies from the first game. No. So we saved the miners again, defeat the enemies again, but this time we had to actually take out the monster nest. You probably don't even remember, but in the first game, there's a point where you could go into this one area and it says, there's monster nest here, you shouldn't go here. And it's like, okay. So we didn't. So we went to there this time, and fought the hardest boss in the game so far. I'm not even joking. This thing probably qualifies for what people usually call a super boss. This thing was insane, and it took me like several attempts to properly pull this thing down. Admittedly, the first attempt I wasn't really paying attention, so that's part of that. Anyways, so that was fun. But now you're probably wondering why I'm paused right here. Well, immediately after that, they said, yeah, we should go wrap up at the Grand Cell place. So the game leads me to Grand Cell. And if I go about 20 feet further forwards, so, society airships. We're heading straight for the capital. Now we have to give chase. The good news is the Grand Cell is like right here, so it's actually not that far of a chase. I don't know. I did get the satellite laser maze, if that's what you're referencing. Shall we begin then, my friends? I guess. If the Divine Blade was here, this might be a good time. Just beat up a bunch of weaklings whose guns don't even work. This ain't even going to be a good way to kill time. It's not so bad, you know. It's fun to just walk around and step on all the little wooden toy soldiers. Well, then make sure not to call your patter down and matter. I don't know. Your robot, your mother-father down on them, love. All little soldiers would run home instantly if you did. Well, that's boring. Instead of getting father-mother to help me smash the pretty castle in the dust. Beauty and destruction, is it? It holds a certain charm of its own, I suppose. Must be the Ouroboros lackeys, sons of... So your airships still work, huh? I believe it's our first formal meeting, soldiers of Liberal. Or Liberal, as they're apparently counting them in the remake. I am Blue Blanc, the handsome, mysterious, peerless phantom thief of beauty. Fall to the direwolf, ladies. Try to put up something like a fight, would you? Luciola, the bewitching belle. We won't be acquainted for long. I'm Ren, Angel of Slaughter. What do we all sound like when you're screaming for your life after I rip you open? So introducing yourself. We'll see if your confidence lasts.
As flowers bloom and wither, spin. Tear them asunder.
I wonder if this is going to be a trend in future Trails games, where the mooks are just trash compared to the elites. That's a pretty common trope, I'm just curious.
kids today. Just die.
Well, too late now, Maze. Yeah, authority equals ass kicking. Like I said, it's a very common trope. Kid, should we really attack? Grown up sure are laid back.
Ready or not, here I come! Got ya!
I don't know, I'm actually not sure what I think of that, since the Royal Army's been shown to be pretty competent the entire game. Having them just be chaff is... I mean, it's typical. Like I said, it's a very, very common trope. Thank you for the sub, Dark Day. Always appreciate you. I'll jot that down immediately. As soon as I pull up the document, which I didn't have ready. Let's see. Final Fantasy 13, Expedition 33, and Dealer's Choice. Plot Spear. Yeah. There we go. Remember, my good man, ultimately this world and life is but a fantasy. Allow me to show you. A delicious nightmare.
You are fitting in. Die beautifully! Farewell!
I've actually seen all these attacks before because they used them on me. Seriously, none of them are trash. Ah, darn, they broke too easily. Now, don't be so greedy. Perhaps the Royal Guard will provide us a bit more challenge. One would hope, at least. Well, then. Reinforcements will head for the castle. Squad leaders, direct your platoons in the taking of each block of Grancel as planned. That was weird. I couldn't leave the menu for a second there. What do you mean, Act? Help as we can. There's no time. Yeah, they're not dead. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go against the grain and say that I think it's fine to not start with the first game. I've actually already recommended as such to several friends of mine who've been trying to get into the series. And there's there's actually three big reasons why I recommend that. First and most obvious is that the first game is rough. Really, really honest about that. But it's also unpleasant to play, is what I want to say there. It's the kind of game that could absolutely taint your view of the future games. Even if you're, like, slugging through it to get to the good stuff, like, it's just going to be like, I actually do know someone, personally, one person, who played the first game and then never kept going because they were just, it burned them out on the franchise and they've never come back to it. I don't know how many other people are like that, but whatever. The second reason, though, is equally as important. It's something I've seen a lot. In fact, I've even talked about it recently. You don't need to play Witcher 1 or 2 or read the books or watch the show to enjoy Witcher 3. Same concept. You don't need to play the first game to enjoy the second game. The first game certainly establishes several things, and the second game certainly follows through on a bunch of those things, but really, the context is all here in the second game. If you played this game first, you're not actually missing much, because everything that is relevant is here in the second game. So the target is the castle. The rest of the enemy forces taking over the city. And he's dead. Was the story of the first game good? I mean, it was net positive. I would agree with the crowd's overall... Yeah, exactly, Archbruce. I would agree with the crowd's overall statement that most of the good stuff in the first game, story access-wise, is the background stuff. NPCs, side plots, you know, world building. See, I can't give such a generic recommendation, for the reasons I just mentioned, Saronic. Too high of a risk of just pushing any players out of the franchise entire. For, frankly, too little gain. Cost benefit.
All right, we rule.
I'm gonna duke the city. Hell, even this game has noticeably gotten a lot better ever since Chapter 6. Have you noticed that? The army is in position on the eastern and western blocks of the city as we speak. The fighting is terrible, but you need to leave it to them. You need to give chase to the enforcers who are heading to the castle. You sure the city will be alright? I've evacuated the people on the street into the guild house. The army is evacuating the rest of the city. Good luck. Yeah, exactly. The quantity of quality storytelling versus padding shifted drastically at the moment we hit Chapter 6. 6 and 7 were both pretty solid. Okay. Let me... Yeah, I was actually looking that up. Apparently, so there's a whole thing, people warning me, like, make sure you don't turn in your Zemurian ore or something like that. Because you can get a second one to get a second ultimate weapon. I'm like, oh man, I better make sure to remember that in the back of my head. So, you know, now that we're here, I did a little more digging. It turns out I don't get either of them because I didn't get the books, which is required for both of them. Oh well. La, la, la. Right. Well, gates are closed. Given the age of the entrance, I would imagine they can be opened manually. That proved difficult, however. That'll take quite a bit of pushing. Ooh, is it time to call in... I don't know how they're supposed to pronounce that. Hey now, you can call that thing and you won't leave it anything for the rest of us to do. Y'all just leave this to me. What? Actually, yeah. If you notice, it is extremely rare that I ever recommend you start a franchise with the beginning of a franchise. I know some people are like that, and that's fine, no judgment. But, like, as a generic recommendation, just like a recommendation to anybody. Devil May Cry? Start with 3. Assassin's Creed? Start with 2. Or 4. Mega Man, start with 2. Zelda, start with 3, etc., etc. I am a scion of the Von Ostley's family. Will not stand quietly and watch as brigands try to tear our landed authority to pieces. With Julia absent, I will take command. Stop wasting time. Their goal is to protect the Queen and the heir. The heir being you! Your priority must be the safety of yourself and the Queen. That's what it means to be heir. Fulfill your duty. For the Hilda, come. We need to set up the chambers. Dunan, please be careful. You just watch as I cast these cursed bandits from the walls. Uh-huh. Yeah, so Philip's dead. Honestly, yeah, but someone mentioned it, I think it was Arspruce mentioned in chat, the actual specific game I would recommend you start Pokemon with is the Gen 3 remake of Gen 1, Fire Red and Leaf Green. If you don't like those games, then you don't like Pokemon. That is about as fundamentally Pokemon as it gets. After that, however, I actually do have a more modern and recent recommendation, which is Sword and Shield. There's no need to make such a show of it. Oh, he's dead. Favorite Pokemon game? Sword and Shield. As of this moment in time. Such ghastly appearances. Rather more like demons than men. Your lordship, should I fall, do not hesitate to flee. Of course he's got a sword, he's a butler. The old man with the closed eyes. Tells this old one. I'm Philip Brunel, butler to His Royal Highness Dunan von Ostley's, former captain of the Royal Guard. This blade I once held in days long past. I do not know how far it will carry me, but it shall now cross with yours. Ah, this country is ever full of surprises. Let's see how skilled you are, though. Yeah, exactly, Arkwright. Poor Philip. He deserves better. Large impact points. I think this is broken with someone's hand. This looks like Walter's handiwork. Yep, Shattering Fist. Well, I'm nice and probably terrified now. What are we standing around being impressed for? We need to catch up to... Can we help you? Oh, that sucks, Melkor Blade. Hopefully they're not too bad. As I'm reminded, by the way, for all these combat, we still don't have access to our arts. In fact, I'm going to keep building CP for this section, because I'm anticipating a boss fight. Okay. Let's just move. Let's just move. At this point, no. We're out, Triaxia. We've used them all. That's true. Arceus is kind of... I don't want to say mandates, but I don't have a better word. Mandates understanding of Pokemon to really appreciate it. Oops. That's 1 inch too close. Oh, well. It was an equip item, but we gave them away to the, What's-your-fix? We might have one left. I admittedly have not checked. Because I've just been living without arts. And like I said, I'm also just building CP here anyways. Would I recommend someone skip Suna Saga 2 and play only 1 and 3? That's a good question. Because, yeah, I'm kind of with Dakota on that. Like, there's some relevant, very relevant stuff that happens in 2. But at the same time, I don't know. 2's kind of the forgettable one of the trilogy there. Like tarsals. I mean, yeah. I suppose the way I would preface that is if you're already invested in 1, you should probably go ahead and play 2. But like if you asked me, should you play 2 in a vacuum? It's a little trickier. God, he's only up to 92. Everyone else is maxed and ready to go. I mean, I'm gonna be really honest with you, 2 is a bit of a mediocre game. But, like I just said, if you're already into 1, then you will probably at least enjoy 2 on a story axis, if nothing else. 3... It's more complicated than this, but it's important to keep in mind that 1, 2, and 3 each were kind of made by a different team. And how much coordination there was across those teams varies.
That's that then. Let's move out.
That's important because A, it shows, but B, 3 isn't really the big conclusion it probably should have been. Do I still have it? Whoops. I do. I do have 1. I mean, it would, Lucas Slaughter. You're right. And the Royal Guard is no match. No, Philip! Oh, thank God, the Duke's dead! Try to stop him. To my shame, I could not. Suppose Age just caught up to me. I could not hold him for long. Is the Duke? He's fine. He was just knocked down. Her Majesty's retreated to the royal chambers. Please hurry. He's just unconscious. Let's hurry. Chloe is in danger. Yeah, you know, the party member I haven't had access to for a while. So these are the Queen's Chambers. Our destination, then. This sucks. The only one who didn't just fall over was the old-timer. Yes, he was quite an expert. He was still silly, though. There's no way he could beat all of us. Stupid old man. Come now, don't say that. He proved his worth through his loyalty. Few men can claim as such. I must admit, Duke Dunham was a little different than rumor led me to believe. True, he didn't seem like the absolute debauchee. Debauchee? From the reports. I was still amused by how quickly he passed out, of course. I misread that at first, Ron. I was confused. It's like, you haven't played the Xenosagas. No, you mean the Blades. Yeah. If only Captain Schwarzer. Stop sniveling. We're the Royal Guard. Show them what that means. This is getting rather tedious. Told you. I know. Make it fun. Let's see who can capture the Queen first. Interesting sport. I'm game. Well, then let's play. Yet literally just bowling through the enemy at this point. You guys don't even have character names. Come on, we know how this works. Chloe, Queen Alicia. Thank you for coming. Sons of, what do you think you're doing? Let go of Chloe and Her Majesty. Sorry, but no. Professor asked us to do this as a personal favor, so no can do. Wait, this has nothing to do with the gospel plan, then. Nope, don't think so. He said he wanted to slow down He slowed you down a little since you were doing more than we thought you should. Oh, I'm very sorry for trying to reverse all the damage you guys are doing and being a decent human being, then. Well, it's a pain. You restored the guild phones, right? Professor wasn't a fan of that. So he wanted to see you kids flounder around a bit more. Did you attack Grancel for that? It's very like him. He is just a petty little dick, isn't he? He's in fairly bad taste, I'll admit. However, Love is securing the floating city on his own. We had a little better to do, so we did the professor a favor. I believe you understand now. Given that I'm not enough of a prize by myself. Can I ask you to release Princess Claudia? Oh, Mother, no. I'm the one who should... It's true the good professor asked for one or the other. The quandary we have in our hands. Is she looking to take the princess anyway? A pet bird in the cage somehow lacks charm. It may also be nice to see your elegance shining, even through her captivity, but... Don't even start. You're really out of your mind to think of what you do that. Yeah, don't make me laugh. If we didn't have hostages, you just gonna take all of us on? That's right, I promised to kill you all next time we met. You know what? This is a good chance. Maybe I should just get you all right here. Stay calm. They're right. There's no way we can fight all of them at once by ourselves. We need to wait for our chance. Alas, Joshua, it is fruitless. Perhaps had you been in the shadows, you could have found an opening, but as it stands, you're out in the open like this, your options are limited. There's little you can do, Black Flag. So it seems. It also seems like I'm not the one who needs to strike an opening. Hi, Cassius. Oh no, that's Sid. God damn it, they look the same from the back. So, Your Highness, forgive my tardiness. Where is Cassius? They do. They look practically identical from the back. Same outfit, same hair color, same general body structure. I'm not surprised. Didn't expect you to be able to turn away such a blow so easily. Alright, let's turn into my kind of party. You want to play too? I'll pass for the moment. Really, I'm just bait anyway. So there's Richard. And that means... Good, I made it in time. That's unexpected. Richard? Colonel Richard? Hello, Miss Bright. You shouldn't call me Colonel, however. I've been stripped of my rank and little more than a criminal performing his penal service. That explains every question I have about this. Don't call me Colonel, okay. Colonel... Mr. Richard, it's been some time. Glad to see you in the Princess Well, Your Majesty. I believe General Bright has already briefed you on my circumstances. Please allow me to shield you from these criminals. Thank you very much, Mr. Richard. The pleasure's mine. I so don't even know what's going on anymore. I think it's safe to say the story is bigger than we are, as it were. A pair of the Divine Blade students, our wayward Black Fang, a group of better-than-average bracers. Oh ho! High praise for him! We may have tarried for too long. I appreciate the time, personally. Incidentally, we've already handled things in the city. There's Schwartz. Wait, no, that's Amalthea. Commence Operation Clean Sweep. Remember, our first priority is the safety of the citizenry. Are you capable of caring about citizens? No, of course she is. You know why? Because Richard told her to. Well, plus, one of the dominant themes of the entire franchise, from what I understand, which I've already seen several times, is that very, very few people are beyond redemption. I wouldn't be surprised if basically all the villains introduced in the first two games, with one exception, end up getting redeemed to some extent or another. The exception being Weissman, by the way. Because that's how the formula works, right? If you're going to have characters who can be redeemed, or lightened, or made less awful, or just whatever, then you need someone who is just terrible behind them. We've talked about this 100 times. Darkspawn and Loghain in Dragon Age Origins, right? So in this game, these games I should say, Weissman is it. He's the horrible person. He will not be redeemed. He will not be lightened. He will, if anything, be made even worse. He's the contrast. Maybe it's his penance for awful deeds and stuff. Or maybe they're trying to remind everyone how awesome they are. Who the hell? They're fighting to clear their name, Dorothy. Ah, hell with it. Dorothy, make with the camera. Shoot until we... Fire until you're out of ammo! Jaeger's being pushed back. You're impressive. They lost their touch, I see. And we're all just watching. Now then, servants of Ouroboros, what do you intend? You seemed quite eager for a fight. Are we still desirous of violence? You think you're funny? It's gonna be like this. I am gonna call. No, stop, Ren. Our chances already slipped by. Trying to force the issue now would only end in ugly fashion. Capture the worlds was ultimately an optional objective. Come, let's pull back. Yeah, we got it. I mean, yeah, they literally admitted this was all a feint. The Jaeger should pull out of the city as well. Sure, we cannot pursue them, but I suppose we can't be selfish. Wait, way more importantly, what the heck is Colonel Richard doing here? I've been present for the seriously grievous time of being a huge jerk. I said I'm not... Reckless. Before any of that, we have to secure the city. Would you help us? Yeah. Jesus, Estelle, this is not hard to understand. Aw, we got up to B+. As mentioned previously, I'm here on General Bright's orders. He had a suspicion Ouroboros might try something like this. However, most regular army troops aren't very well trained to fight without horrible firearms, so I decided to use a handful of troops with experience in hand-to-hand combat. First, I needed an excuse to get me and my subordinates involved, seeing we're supposed to be in prison. As a result, we were to be transferred to a ground cell, where we conveniently ended up caught up in the chaos and repelled the attack. Okay, it's about as subtle as a brick to the forehead, Dad. I think you had some idea about this, Your Majesty? Yes, Cassius and I discussed the idea earlier. We will, I suspect, face some criticism for doing this, but the safety of the citizenry must come before everything else. I knew from the bottom of my heart that Mr. Richard would do what was best for the country he loves so. I do not deserve such praise, Your Majesty. I get it, so then... Oh, right. Does this have to do with the reason you wanted to see us? In part, yes. What I wanted to discuss was what Cloudy has done. It was a short ceremony, but as of this morning, I am formally invested with inheritance. I'm now officially crowned Princess of Libero. Next in line to be queen. Congratulations. I think you made a good decision. I really think some of it is simply selfishness on my part. I understand you're the ones who saved everyone at the Academy? Thank you so much. Yeah. I won't take all the credit, though. Annalise's grape was there, too. And Seek helped. Scree! Yes, so I gathered. When I learned about what happened, I spent a lot of time thinking about what I could do. What role I could serve to help to protect those dear to me. And that's when I decided to join Ouroboros and give in to the powers within in order to use them to conquer this pathetic world. Sorry. And then the Duke's like, now I just have to kill a pathetic child, and the throne will be mine. And then Philip shows up and is like, yeah, you know, Your Majesty, if you took the throne, you wouldn't have time for comics and donuts. Oh my god! I immediately renounce all claim to the throne. Okay. I said that as an off the cuff joke, but actually, honestly, if they did that as a story beat, I would probably give that a positive. Like, someone just is like, you know, there's a lot of responsibilities for being the ruler. Oh, right. I quit. And he just wanders off. All right, let's actually put this under here. I don't know if I'd say Flim and Flam were redeemed. Taking over a casino from a scamster. I mean, true, Blade Javal. Yeah, nobody wants to rule. They want the benefits of rule. Sentinel Prime. Sorry. Promote him to embassy. Oh, he'd be dead in a week. All right. And then they started a for-profit college. That's right. Yeah, no, I don't think Flim and Flam were redeemed, but I do think they were pulled back from pure evil. I think it's a better way to put that. No, X. No. Rip. All right. Sorry. Anyways, I am an inexperienced teenager who lacks the ability or confidence to lead the kingdom. Still, if I can use such a position to protect those dear to me, and if that in turn helps me protect the home I love, then it is all worth it. Chloe, you silly. Well, congratulations. Looks like you finally found that path you were looking for. Thank you. Really, I'm desperately new at this, though, and I'm not quite sure what I can do. Will you lend me your aid? Duh. I mean, heck, I'm not exactly a grizzled veteran. I don't know, we basically saved the kingdom like 2.5 times now. Whenever you need us, we'll be there for you. Thank you so much. What a complete utter fool I've been. All the things I did without realizing the potential of the young people who carry our future. Aren't you in your 30s? What's this, Alan? You'll be carrying a good deal of future yourself still, I think. Jest, Your Majesty. Colonel! I'm not... Okay. Oh, wait, that colonel. Right, we have 2 colonels here. Everything's quiet. The Jaegers withdrew rapidly from the city and faded back into the countryside. We've received a report from Hockengate. An Erebonian army is gathering at the border. Olivier! So they've come at last. How large an army are they fielding? Appears to be only a single standard division. But they have tanks. Oh, just a damn second. How the hell are they running tanks in the middle of all this? Are they using the same technology as society? I thought they might. No, it's strange. They don't appear to be using ordnance at all. They run using steam engines. Steam tanks. Honestly, a division would probably be enough to kind of stomp Liberal right now. We are so far on the back foot and have been taking losses while we're dealing with other things. It's an engine that uses steam to move pistons. It's even more primitive than a gas engine. I stopped using them as soon as ordnance were invented. No sane army would bother keeping such museum pieces maintained. They're a joke compared to even the most basic orbital tank. For me, one thing, they prepared these in secret. It means the Erebonian leadership knew this was going to happen, so the next trial Ouroboros spoke of. That must be it. Now they're effectively holding Grancel hostage. They can storm in and take the capital again whenever they please. It's one way of sending a message, I suppose. It's another problem. I suspect Dad was keeping you as an ace in the hole. A special Joker card he could play. Somebody could dispatch anywhere as an emergency. And now he's played that card and you'll have to remain here. Ouroboros certainly plays a hard game. Grandmother, allow me to go to Hockengate. Say what? Chloe, I couldn't bear sending Uncle. He risked his life once for us already. Let me go. I will negotiate with the Erebonians as your agent. Very well, though we may have signed a non-aggression pact with them. Remember that the scales in which Erebonian liberal balance are still unstable. These events could spiral into chaos that would engulf the continent. Counting on you to balance those scales. Time to play ambassador. Yeah, we're gonna go with you. Good duh. If things get really crazy and turn into a shooting war, we'll do what we can to help. Mind we can't actually help with the shooting war, as per protocol. There's a few things we can do from a neutral position. Couldn't ask for more. Thank you. Please keep her safe. Yes, Your Majesty. On that note, I and my men will keep an eye on the movements the Society try to make. True, Melkor Blade. Even if they attempt to assault us with that massive puppet of theirs, we'll be ready to respond. Okay. Wow, we're just going to teleport there. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Jesus. We can't close the gates right now. Because the gates are orbital powered. Who the hell is that? Oh, it's Zaktaft. Hi, Zaktaft. Explain yourself, General Vander. Why is the division of the Imperial Army on our literal doorstep? Does the Emperor truly forget the pacts it signed so quickly? General Morgan, I'm the one who would like an explanation. Last 24 hours or more, Orbans all across the southern marches of His Majesty's domain have ceased function. At the exact same time, it seems a massive, heretofore unknown structure appeared above your Valeria Lake. Ask you, Morgan, what is going on? It is just as you say. We are as confused as anyone else about the situation. Your situation is, as I said, affecting a large swath of Imperial territory. Given that, you know full well why I am here, General. To try and raise the stallion above us while we're weak, then. We intend nothing of the sort. We give an understanding a criminal organization of some sort has been taking advantage of the situation. All we wish to see is if we can be aid to the allies whom we have signed a non-aggression pact with. Those are the orders I received from the Imperial government. Nonsense. What are the tanks doing here, then? I've never heard of a tank that runs on steam and combustion until now. How's it you suddenly have these tanks which conveniently require no orbital power? That is a military secret. I wonder... I would think you would welcome us, though. These vehicles are perfectly suited to helping keep the peace. In the barrel, that is. While this crisis runs its course. You understand my meaning, yes? We deeply appreciate your thoughtfulness. Wow, we got there fast. Yeah, it's what, 2 Tuesdays off now? Pillars of Snow? Something like that. So what do you... What? New title card for Princess Claudia. Please leave the rest of this to me. What are they doing here? We are the royal bodyguards. Sorta, temporarily. Should the worst happen, we'll protect Claudia, we swear. Maybe an experience as a negotiator. This is, however, a proper time for me to step forward and assume my duties as heir. Morgan, please. As you wish, Your Highness. Keep in mind you are going out there to parley with. If anything happens, be ready to run for the gate. Yeah, it looks sharp. Seems I'll be trading words with someone else now. I'm afraid I don't recognize you, though your bearing is quite noble. This is the first time we have met, sir. I am Claudia von Oslies, Princess of Liberal, granddaughter of the Queen. Newly invested heir to the throne. Forgive my impertinence, Your Highness. I'm Zex Vander, Your Highness. Lieutenant General, 3rd Division, Imperial Army. Word of your accomplishments in battle has reached even us, General Vander. Is that the guy famous? Yeah, that's One-Eyed Zex. He's one of the best field commanders Erebonia has. Is he in Cold Steel? I may be so bold, Your Highness. I have actually seen pictures of you before. Have you cut your hair recently? Now that I look at it, your face is familiar, but... This is a bit embarrassing. I cut it for the investor ceremony. Consider a little girl's way of showing her resolve to take up a burden too heavy for her. Hardly, Princess Claudia. It looks very good on you, if I may be forward. I allowed this servant of the Empire to congratulate you on becoming heir to the throne. Thank you, General. Oh, then what brings the Princess of Liberal here? Are you here to raise protest against us like my good colleague Morgan? No, that is not my intent. I am sure neighbors in Erebonia must be terrified at the moment. The darkness at night, the cold, the complete shutdown of communications. Believe me, I know how any one of those could inspire terror in people. What I ask is, what I ask is for you to consider your actions. Consider what would happen if your forces were to enter our country. You see, a large portion of the Empire are disordered at the moment. I assure you, in every part of Liberl, it is worse. And while we no longer bear Erebonia ill will, many of our citizens are agitated and afraid. I cannot bear it if the good intentions of our allies are misunderstood. As you can see, we are investigating these strange events as quickly as we're able. Furthermore, we have managed to suppress most of the activities of the aforementioned criminal group on our own. I ask you for the sake of continued friendship between Erebonia and Liberl, a relationship that we value highly. Give us a little more time, General. We will make this right. Pretty words, but they are alas sound and fury, signifying nothing. Hi, Olivier. Your Highness? Okay, I figured he was part of the nobility. That's easy pick. But he's the crown prince? I believe this is our first formal acquaintance, Princess Claudia. I am Oliver, actually I think is how that would be pronounced. Oliver Rhys Arnor, son of His Majesty Emperor Eugent III. He's an Imperial Prince? Sure, did you know about this? You're kidding, right? There's just some sort of agent for Imperial Intelligence. Oliver, I recognize the name, but I don't know the man. Even though I'm a prince, I'm little more than a royal bastard. I rarely attend to public matters of state, so I'm unsurprised you don't know my face. It does still sting a little, though, I fear. For the lovely girl who was once to be my bride may not even know my face. An arrow, my heart. That's what Colonel Richard had in mind a while back. I'm sorry, I was unaware. Allow me to apologize for the slight against you. Well, I do understand it was conducted without the Queen's consent. That sort of slight we can overlook, but this, no, Erebonia cannot overlook this. My enchanting princess, are you aware, I wonder, of a little rumor making its rounds around our great empire? I believe I am. Well, I'm going to tell you then. Rumor has it the immense structure in the distance is Liberal's new weapon. What? Liberal has developed a groundbreaking new weapon that allows them to stop orbital energy. They intend to use it to make us pay for the war 10 years ago. It's a rumor which finds fertile ground in the hearts of our ears of our citizens and leadership. It can't be. It's absolutely untrue. We would never. Then you can prove it, yes? Prove it's a misunderstanding. If you cannot, we must act upon the evidence of our senses. Indeed, if rumors are true, this is a monstrous betrayal of all civilization, using the pact to hide your intentions. What choice would we have then but to be defenders of the free world? What the hell is this, Olivier? Still? I can just sit here and listen to you blather on as you please. You know damn well what's going on here. Why are you being such a jerk? Still, wait, have we met? You seem to know me, even though you did not get the name quite right. Did we meet at a party once? No, you lack the refinement of nobility. Yes, no matter how I look at you, you must be nothing more than a commoner. So who are you? Okay, fine then. You want to play dumb no matter what? You aren't the only one who can bust out a surprise. My name is Estelle Bright, B-ranked Bracer of the Bracer Guild of Liberl. In accordance with the laws of the guild, I'm involving myself in the dispute as a neutral arbiter. Ah, you're a Bracer. B-rank. That'd make you a veteran who can be trusted with arbitration at the scope, but... Trying to say you can't trust a Bracer's word? Prince Oliver? Not at all, forgive me. So what do you intend to do about our little situation? Neutral arbitrator. From the evidence I judge, Erebonia's claim is false. The floating city is not a Liberalian weapon. I swear on the honor of the Bracer Guild supporting Gauntlet. Oh, on the honor of the Guild's emblem itself. Bold statement. Certainly a statement from the Bracer Guild holds weight that cannot be ignored outright. However, I shall pose the same question to you then. What is your evidence of the claim? It's funny, Lucas Love. We've seen for ourselves the group which made the floating city appear as the criminal society of Ouroboros, which is still operating in Liberl. We of the Guild have been cooperating with the Royal Army to try and put the stop to the society's operations. Like we can have records of everything forwarded to the Imperial government. Well, that certainly satisfies our need for evidence against Liberal's possible malfeasance. However, you have, I think, missed a key point. Assuming, then, perpetrators are of the Society of Ouroboros, are Liberal and the Guild capable of putting a stop to the crisis? If you do not, the Empire will not sit here wringing its hands. The weaponry we have brought, including the cannons of our tanks, all use gunpowder. Would that not be perfect for laying siege to and destroying this little rogue city of yours? You'll be joking. What'll cannons do against something that big? You never know until you try. Regardless, I can say one thing for sure. You do not have the ability to put a stop to our goodwill, or our need to defend ourselves. Now then, Prince Oliver, would action satisfy? If we can prove that we can, even in these circumstances, do something about that city, would you give us time to do so? I suppose that for some time, at least, civility would force our hand. Prince? Calm down, General. Consider it a bare minimum of courtesy to a minor power we have a pact with. This seems they can even prove anything. So then, if you can show me you have some hope of stopping all this, our forces will withdraw. On the crest of the Golden Stallion, and my name is a member of the Arnor family, I swear it. Good, that came through loud and clear. Wait, his name is Olivert? Jesus Christ. As our proof, men of Erebonia. Feel free to feast your eyes upon it. Cassius Bright. It's been a while, Zex. They finally give you a second star, I see. It's beside the point. Why are you here? What is that ship? How is it capable of flying? That, unfortunately, is a national secret. Rather like those steam tanks of yours, I would say. So this is the Arce, is it? You must be the famed Cassius Bright. I believe this is the first time we've had an audience, Your Highness. Strange, though. I feel like we've met somewhere before. How curious, General Bright. I was just thinking the same thing. How very curious. Isn't it, though? My prince. Miss Bright, Princess Cloudy, I'm a proud member of the Erebonian Pearl family. I will keep my word. General, have all our forces withdraw from this area. Immediately. You have our credited Prince Olivert. I'm gonna have to hear that. Really push that into my brain. That's just... Olivert? Really? That's his name? My dear citizens will doubtlessly not be satisfied with the mere possibility being presented to them. So I could board the Arce and observe for myself. Prince Oliver. A good idea. I'm sure everyone in the Imperial government will be satisfied with the Prince as a witness. Princess Claudia, shall we? Of course, I see no reason to object. I'm sure this will only further strengthen the bond of friendship between Erebonia and Liberl. Prince Oliver, what have you done? You finally stride on the public stage for the first time in ages and you engage in this charade? I suppose we were too transparent at the end, huh? Transparent like air, to think a Prince of the Empire would plan something like this in the barrel. Mueller, how could you let this happen? Forgive me, Uncle, but do you really think this idiot would listen even if I asked him to stop? Besides, there are elements of this which do not sit easily on my conscience. I learned all about the truth behind Hamel during this mess. So you did know? How could he not know? Even back then, he was a critical part of the military chain of command. Shame is... No, Zex, I do not blame you. It was a subsection of the Warhawks. I know you had nothing to do with it. A scandal so vile, information about it had to be tightly controlled. I do not agree with the logic, but I understand it. Seal up that which stinks, bury it forever. Those who remain in rule remain in power, unblemished. However, I cannot allow the same trick to be played twice. You realize it yourself, I'm sure, the incredibly fortuitous addition of these steam tanks to our arsenal. The convenient orders to sortie. Every bit of it has the fingerprints of the Blood and Iron Chancellor himself. Osborne. That's... His name keeps cropping up. He's in contact with Ouroboros. I no longer doubt it. Personally, I find the idea of the Chancellor whose first loyalty is not to the Empire rather repugnant. Don't you? But you can't possibly. I do indeed. The former military man who has become the Empire's central politician, rising to prominence 10 years ago. The cold-blooded, yet bold reformer who laid rails throughout the Empire and has annexed many of our neighbors through force of arms. I've decided to slay the beloved monster which has made its nest in our Empire. You may call all this my declaration of war. Prince, do you realize what you're attempting to accomplish? I like to tell myself I do. He's not only politically strong, but he has de facto control of easily 7/10 of the military. Putting aside neutral people like yourself, all who stand against him are the nation's feudal lords, and their influence weakens by the day. Or still, my father's trust in him is nearly absolute. We're a picture of a monster, I would say. Then why even... Is it not obvious? Because the way he acts is not beautiful. My eyes were opened as I traveled Liberal. People and countries at their greatest when they are proud of themselves, and I wish for my people and my fatherland to feel that same pride, to be proud of their accomplishments, not their conquests. I hope you can understand, Zect. My prince, you've become quite a man. As they say, only an unwatched pot will boil. It's been 7 years since you took me under your wing to teach me what you knew, Zex. Simply learned to apply what you taught when you weren't looking. Very well, I'll pull my forces back. I must remind you, however, that the 3rd Division was merely the vanguard. Osborne's mustering another 10 divisions in the capital. 3 days, and they march. That's your deadline. Yes, we'll act with all haste. Mueller, you're going with the prince, I take it? If things go poorly, bring him back. Even if you have to drag him by the collar. I imagine I'll have to do so either way. Wait, why would they change the name from acerbic to bitter? And off they go. Move this up here. I need to double check something, forgive me. Which is somewhere around here. There it is. After Tunnels 3, it looks like. Okay. I had the random amused thought in the middle of that cutscene that it's funny that we finally see another side of Olivier, and it's just another frickin' mask. Excuse me, Olivered. Really, no one trusts me, it seems. My lamentations truly are ceaseless. Of course they don't, you nitwit. Even I didn't think you had something like this in you. As they say, if you're going to play your cards, throw in all your chips. I do certainly did a good job in arranging all the pieces. You can say we're partners in crime, confederates of love, bees of a flower, who have shared the sweetest honey. I am armed, Oliver. Estelle, brilliantly done. Brilliantly done my entire butt. Whap! Oh, that just makes me hate him even more, Mr. Red. Could you please explain what the hell's going on? It's exactly as it looks. There's something rotten in the state of Erebonia. I simply dragged it up to the stage. The stage, and the rest of us couldn't take a peek at the script. As they truly say, if you wish to deceive your foes, deceive your friends. Having the Arcee show up after you negotiate us into a corner, that was the plan Cassius Bright and I came up with. I should have known. Once Dad showed up, I thought that might be it. That was the idea, at least. Here comes the deceitful jerk number 2. It's a little cruel, don't you think? I was listening by the phone. You handled the negotiations expertly. Thanks to you, the arrival of the Arcee had all the impact it needed. What? Of course, that artifact of yours. Ah, my dear Shara, no more of that, please. It'd be a little problematic if he heard about. Too late for that, my prince. I don't know, why don't we ask Bismarck, Triaxia? Julia as well. Your Highness heard about the attack on the capital. Very glad to see that you are safe. Sorry, Julia. I can only imagine how worried you must have been. That's partially my fault. If I'd finished the Arcee's upgrades, we could have come out to help ourselves. Unfortunately, Zero Field reinforcing most of the airship in the world. The most advanced airship in the world took a while, if you can believe it. Still, glad to see everyone's safe. Yeah, hang on. How is the Arcee flying? Made a Zero Field generator big enough for the entire ship? Yep. The ones I gave you are prototypes. I've been locked up in Arcee ever since you left. Well, it's fine already. So in other words, every last bit of this was set up by Dad. Well, don't say it like I'm a criminal. I simply did what I could to make it easy for you to act. You did this because you wanted to, yes? Technically, I guess, but... Oh, I don't get why you're here, though, Kevin. Right. Well, as the cathedral word came in from the Growlsritter higher-ups, they've been hitting the books. I think I've got a good picture on what kind of thing the Oriole is and how to end this mess. And once I told Cassius about that, I got hogtied and brought her. What? What the Oriole is? Yeah, so first of all, the Oriole isn't that floating city itself, really. We think that's an artifact in the city that provides the whole thing with orbital power and helps control the flow of it. The Gospels are like distribution thingies for it. An ancient power source for a city. Why is it causing all the orbits to shut down? Now you're getting into guesswork, but a couple of really old legends talk about the Oriole striking down threats to the Chosen. Meaning all our modern orbits are being seen as threats to the Chosen. Disabling any possible threat in the area of influence. It's a defense mechanism. Seems extremely likely. Really, this gives us a ray of hope. Doing something about the entire city would be difficult due to its sheer size, but if we could find the actual Oriole in the city, we may be able to find a way to deal with it. Let's see, that is an idea. Seems as though our final goal is set before us. The final dungeon! No, really. Actually, that is what's next. The decision to use the Arcea must come from the royal family. Princess? You don't need to ask. Captain Schwartz! Prepare the Arcea for launch. We're heading for the flying city above Valeria Lake. At once, Your Majesty. My bracer friends, please everyone lend your aid to Liberl in our hour of need. This mission will likely be the last one of this crisis, until it ends on a to be continued for the third game. I mean, we'll probably beat the game today, but we probably won't beat it before the lunch break. Let's put it that way. Still not quite ready for it? No, she is. No matter how grim it gets, Estelle never loses hope. The light is... That's terrifying, Mace. The light is always there to guide us. To guide me. That's why only Estelle could be our leader. Joshua, not helping. Estelle, your face is red as a beet. Okay, I get it. Chloe, the guild accepts your mission. We'll find the Oriole on the flying city and save Liberl. Liberal. Apparently liberal is actually what it's supposed to be pronounced as, but whatever. I'm afraid I can't come with you. They may have retreated for now, but I trust Zex, and I trust Zex to keep his word. We can't ignore the larger Erebonian threat. It's not just Hawkingate. They can use non-orbital powered vessels to invade by sea. I also would be surprised if the Society attempts another raid on Grand Cell. Can't leave the Royal Army with all this going on. Yeah, I get it. We'll deal with the front. You deal with the rear. Cassie sends a letter to Joshua. A lot of father's heart. It's between men, so it might be a little shocking for Estelle. Gentle reminder that I'm right here and still have my staff. I'll read it when I have time, Dad. Please do. For the love of... I seriously do not get guy stuff like this. Don't be so harsh. I'm taking time off once this is over. I tend to spend a lot of time at home once I can. Make sure we can all share some omelet rice then, alright? Yeah, you bet. Yeah, I haven't seen a Soviet Union or equivalent. And I mean, from my understanding, there isn't one. Unless there's something on another continent. Like, I'm sorry, if it's a plot point that this continent is it, then there's something else, right? Are you sure, Cassius? You're that worried, you could have gone with them, you know. No, it's fine. Weissman is even more dangerous than I thought he would be. My company then might simply be painting a target on their heads. Yes, if you're out in the open, he'd strike at your ankle, like the snake he is. Price of fame, huh? It is maddeningly frustrating, let me tell you. Of course, this is also what gives us a chance to strike. Game of truth and lies as the two of you try to read each other, huh? Speaking of lies, do you think the Blood and Iron Chancellor will really hold back? His prophecy is he can't gainsay an oath from Prince Olivert easily. As long as we don't give him any more of an opening, I think he'll be safe. I hope so. Everything rests on the team aboard the Arcea, then. Yes. Lena and great benevolent Idios of the Sky, who is secretly the final boss of the 20th game. Shine down where your children must walk. Beneath this enormous sky, they might find the path they seek. Their trails in the sky. Hello, Holtbolt. Alright, hang on. Time for game 3. That would actually be really funny.
long last, the Courageous is finally taken to the skies of Erebonia. I feel like a mother hen watching her chicks leave the nest.
I'll take your word for it.
This may sound a bit forward of me to say, but it sounds like you had some hurdles getting this project together.
Please say his name.
I'll say that.
I
Please.
doubt it would have come together without the prince's unwavering dedication.
Say his stupid name. I don't care what you're talking about. Just say his stupid name. Say it aloud. Students, schedule, Viscount. I don't care about any of this. Just looking for the name. Please say his name. Please say his name. Oh my god. Nope, didn't say his name. Whole cutscene, they didn't say his name. Okay, how about this one? It's a 20-minute cutscene. Surely, someone will say his name here. Oh, here we go. Oh my god, he's in a stupid bard outfit. He's listed as blonde-haired man. This is a good sign. Maybe they'll actually say his stupid name and introduce him. Okay, here we go.
Tis I, Olivert Ricey Arner.
It is. They just say Olivert. That's what they call him, is Olivert. Okay. I didn't realize your parents didn't love you. My bad. Alright, so. Stabilizer wing stored. Helm, accelerate to full speed. Set course for the floating city. What should we do if the enemy attempts to intercept us? Good question. Many to engage them depending on the ferocity of the attack, but I want to prioritize landfall. I mean, I spent a lot, and I mean a lot, of work and effort on that whole bolt, so I hope it was worth it. I didn't know Mueller could man an orbital gunship. He trained in the Imperial Army's most advanced armored division. Despite his burly sword-swinging appearance, he's quite capable as a gunner. Sorry if my appearance doesn't match my skills. No, it's cool, actually. Did you get a chance to change Olivert? You're coming aboard as a representative of the Empire. That, my friends, is but a front. Once this is over, my search for Lund, freedom and finery shall be at an end. Until then, at least, I wish to dress and be addressed as I please. To you I shall always be Olivier. What people of Erebonia say if they knew? I cannot say I care in the slightest. How about it, my good reporters? Would you care for a scandalous tell-all interview with the Erebonian prince? You serious? Oh, I better get lots of pictures then. Please, I beg you, do not take any of the nonsense coming from his mouth seriously. That aside, how come you two are coming along now? Like, if I could guess, grandmother wished for you to ride along as you did during the incident with the dragon. Got it in one, your highness. Majesty put a good word for us with Brigadier General Bride. He allowed us to come along as war correspondents. I get lots of pictures of you being amazing at the gate, Princess Claudia. I'll show them when they're developed. Thank you. She managed to suck the seriousness out of the room every time. Oh yeah, Grandpa, is our zero field generator okay? Yeah, it's working just fine for the moment. Assuming nothing happens, it should get us to that flying city suit easily enough. Oh, if something does happen, all we got is prayers? Oh yes, without the generator we crash, no question. The impact would surely kill us all instantly, or the subsequent explosion would. Professor, you really know how to calm a girl's fears. If I can quote Setzer, when things fall, they fall. Alright, this is a big action sequence. I'd rather bother with stealth at this point. Arm the main gun. Target only the ships obstructing our course. It's actually a mix of the older version. I'm wondering when we're going to see the guns of this thing. Bogies 1, 2, 5 disabled. 3 and 4 disengaging. This is what the future of aerial warfare looks like. Until the mechas get involved, yeah. There's quite a bit of power, but virtually no recoil, even if it's fantastically accurate. Of course it is. To be honest, I would have liked to mount some point defense guns with radar tracking, but one project at a time. Contact with 250 ARG in length, approaching at 8 o'clock. That's the glorious. You know anything about the performance or armament of that thing? The RSA can easily outmaneuver and outrun it, but it is a gigantic main cannon and large batteries of point defense. No, Darkrai. There's no way we can attack it directly and live. Turn to 4 o'clock. Flank speed. Lux, get us over the city and avoid fire from the monster's guns. I was gonna say, they gotta use the animation for that. Also, sorry for the noise. There's nothing I can do about it. It probably took months to make that cutscene. Like Red of the Glorious' firing range. Scary. But half the nerves in my body are shot now, yes. Yeah, my heart's about to burst from my chest. Still, not much else the enemy can do to us at this point, right? No, we shouldn't let our guard down. Yeah, the society has a bad tendency of ignoring things like common goddamn sense. Need to watch out till the second we land. Speaking of... Yeah, no kidding, Lucas Slaughter. That's why they call it the money shot. That's where you spend the money to get the shot. I did all the side quests, Melkorblade. Although I didn't do each of the towers again. I didn't care enough. The accessories from that were nice, but that was it. Now over the Flying City. Oh, it's Thragus. It's the jewel of ancient Zemuria. Even more mind-blowing than I imagined. That enormous tower-like structure. I bet good money on that being the important part of the island. We're going to land. I'll put down near that, Captain. Good idea, Professor. Echo, anything on radar? The Glorious? One moment. No many contact within 50 Selg. Seem to have left the Glorious in our dust, ma'am. Good. Luck slow to 1/3. Begin landing. Put us near that tower. I'm out. Dorothy? You got a photo quartz already, Edgar. Sorry. I have plenty of that, but isn't there something weird over there? There's our Mecca. Gotta have a Mecca. Very important. Wouldn't be a JRPG without Mecca. Which is why the FFs are not JRPGs. What you do when your wings of hope are ripped from your back. I'm pretty sure Cold Steel is just going to go all in on the mecha game. Oh, we're dead. No, it's a kaiju, Kennex cow. Bit of a difference. Okay! Finale, we're all dead. Seriously, we should be paced. I'm just saying. It's actually funny you mentioned that, Darkrai. They unironically did mention that they have inertial dampeners on this ship. They actually did. I was paying attention. That is most likely the reason that they are not full paced. Like, I'm sorry, a collision at that thing, their bones would be powder. That's the closest I ever brushed shoulders with death, I think. Oh no, I can't eat that much. Guess I should be careful she ain't hurt. Dorothy, wake up! Huh? Major Vander. As well as could be expected. Nothing seems broken over here. I'm unhurt, man. I think I'm okay. Oh, we were goners. Perhaps he simply let us live. That's right. The one riding the shining thing was, yeah, it was Lobe. He's in certain he stayed his hand. He really wished he could have torn us to pieces. I'm not sure how I feel about that. At any rate, where are we? Somewhere in the periphery of the island. Yeah, maybe we should have landed quicker. Oh my god. The Liber Arc, huh? Okay, that was a few seconds from being much worse. Dorothy, don't blow all your photo quartz in 5 minutes, alright? Yeah, we went through a few things on our way down, it looks like. Feels like a city park. I've never heard of a city park so huge you can see it at the end of... You can't see the end of it in any direction. So... Sieg! Sieg's like, you crazy maniacs! I was afraid you'd been hurt or got lost. Don't worry, we're all fine too. Scree! Scree? Scree, scree, scree. Ah, I see, thank you. Apparently we've crashed on the easternmost side of the city, and the Glorious is docked on the exact opposite side. The damage to the R side looks worse than it actually is. The engines themselves are virtually untouched. The flight field generator mostly just needs to be beaten furiously with a wrench. Yeah, I've repaired things before. Problem lies a lot in our finer systems, our stabilizers for starters. Ironically, we can plow forward just fine, but hovering steadily would be an issue. First order business needs to be organizing everyone we can for repairs. I may be an outsider here, but I'll help in any way you require. Thank you, Vander. That'll solve the problem with the RSA, but our real struggle will be locating the Ariel. Especially since likely our friends in the society are there. If they claim the Oriole, who knows what they may do with it. Even everything done until now, you have to imagine it would be nothing good for anyone else. We need to get out there and find a way to stop them. No complaints with that idea. We should get moving right now. So, we should have a small exploration team of 4 people. Anyway, the exploration team is going to need backup. Ideally, we should have people ready to swap in and out as soon as the team returns to the RSA. So the initial team will be, looks like Chloe and Olivier. I better have access to my frickin' arts for this. Shutdown phenomena doesn't seem to be happening on the island. Oh, thank God. Tactical orbit should work just fine away from the RSA, even without handheld generators. Really? How can you tell? Well, truth be told, the biggest casualty of the crash with the RSA is the ZFG. But even with it in pieces, all our other orbital systems are operating just fine. Jesus Christ, Darkrai. People are scum. Every scalper needs to be taken out back and shot. Yeah, the Oriole gets rid of foreign agents, but if we're on the Oriole itself, we're not foreign anymore. Talking about small mercies. Going after any arts or anything would be kind of harsh. So the Orbital Workshop drills are working? Yep, everything survived. So, first of like 18,000 final dungeons. I don't actually know how many there are. Sorry, Estelle. I actually need to prepare something for the ship's door. Something to help if I need to sneak around again. Can I ask you to wait a bit? Sure. Do you want some help? Speed things up a little? No, it's a one-person job. I don't think it'll take more than 30 minutes or so. You wait in the lounge till then? Don't tarry over long, Joshua. Don't do anything stupid, Joshua. Oh man, you were due to many talents, but lying ain't one of them. Sorry, lying to her isn't. I think the one you should apologize to eventually is Estelle. You sure? Alright, this could backfire and mess you up, like, badly. Yeah, I made my decision. Kevin, Father Kevin, please, you're the only one who can help. Alright, don't need to lay it on that thick. Come on, a little lie ain't gonna buy us much time. Let's get to the medical bay. Yeah, step 1. Gotta keep you waiting. That took a while. Are you okay? You look tired. Some of it took a lot of concentration. Don't worry, I'm fine. Okay. Yeah, cat here. We are not set up. What are we missing? Let's get Yin Yang going. And heal. For Olivier. Here's age. There it is. Seeing if it really catches my eye here. Yes, we can art it up. It has been a minute. Whoops. I did not mean to do that. I really didn't. Oh, one misclick, and now I'm low on wind Sipith. Whatever. Whatever. Alright, so Ruby Gem, Action 4, Hit 4, HP 4, Move 3. I think she's good to go. Yep, okay, she's good to go. Action 4, Evade 4, HP 4, Blind. Cloak, Hit 4, Attack 4. Yep, he's good. Chloe, HP 4, Mind 3, EP 3, Yin and Yang, EP Cut 3, Shield 3. No, I don't want Shield 3. I want something I can't afford. Maybe? I already have one. There we go. Cast. We do cast. Yeah. We have HP, yep. We have mind, yep. Although she should have a mind. There we go. EP3, EP cut 4. Do I have an EP4? I do. Having an AoE Earth Wall might not be a bad idea. But having Latirol might be better. I think we'll stick with that. We'll really have the AoE heals there. Okay, so EP. Of course, Lucas Lauder. Speaking of which, I do need to read the what you fixed in a minute. Which I will do in a second. Okay, so there's our air. I'd like to have earth in that too. Oh, let's. I need a triple for that. Ah! Why did I waste my wind, Sepith? Let's do that instead. Sure wish I could see the whole list as it's populating it. Game. This is a UI bug. I haven't run into it yet. I can't tell what spells it's giving me because, you know. I think I like scroll down. Nope, it won't let me see. It's irritating. I can't tell what spells I have access to. But I can tell it's changing the spells because you can see on the right there, you can see the size of the scroll bar is changing. You see that? So I'm adding and removing spells, but I don't know what they are. God damn it. Okay, what did we just learn? EX, which is good. I actually did want that. There's White Gehenna. I guess that'll be sufficient. What happens if you equip all the cat gears? Anyone know? Okay. up, apparently. It does 7,000 damage. Final dungeon time. Same general architectural style of the last dungeon of the first game, as expected. Aw. I mean, 30 speed is nothing to sneeze at, but given how bad the rest of the stats are, that doesn't sound worth it. I'm sorry. Look at how much the nose is sticking out over the edge. It's not a lot, but that's how close we came. Thanks, Love. Search for beauty, and now I find it. I'm trying to put this. It's sort of hard to believe we're in the sky, you know. The ancient Sumerian culture was more than just its technology. It seems they had a great understanding of how to use their technology, too. Yeah. So where are they? Oh, right. Sorry. While we're here, I should probably read issue 10. Well, looks like I should read both issues. I could do that. As you are no doubt aware, all orbments are experiencing an abnormal loss of power. This phenomenon appears to be nationwide and is having a severe effect on both manufacturing and transport. Even our magazine has had significant difficulty reaching print. While this phenomenon is hindering our ability to distribute nationally, we're having trouble distributing nationality right now. We'll try to release at the capital at least. Additionally, information is difficult to confirm in these circumstances. We apologize for any inaccuracies. Monstrous swarm urban centers. According to the Royal Army, yesterday morning, unknown monsters began swarming all around capital cities, save the capital. Army units engaged the fierce beast, but thankfully, things quieted by evening and no major damage was reported. At roughly the same time as the monsters appeared, reports came in of Crimson soldiers attacking guard posts across the nation. Defense forces, prepared and alert for combat, engaged the invaders. As far as we've been able to confirm, no guard posts have fallen. We also have unconfirmed reports of Crimson soldiers departing via airships. Just who are these red invaders? From their equipment to their armor and abilities, it's clear the Crimson soldiers are a highly organized and well-funded force. Their allegiance is a mystery. The most viable theory suggests they are Jaegers, a foreign mercenary group. I mean, that's a technicality there, but yeah. The reports of airships at their disposal, however, raise questions of more powerful backers, given the limited production of such vessels. Bracers Guild is currently investigating. Early dawn yesterday, an enormous flying object appeared over Valeria Lake in a flash of gold. The moment it appeared across the nation, orbital power seemed to cease immediately. While the two incidents are believed to be connected, at the moment that rank remains pure conjecture. With this orbital shutdown phenomenon continuing, the government has called for citizens to prepare replacements. Lamps and candles are recommended for light, while wood stoves and solid fuel for heat can work as well. The abnormality is not mechanical in nature, so repair is not possible. The situation may drag on, so citizens should prepare accordingly. While defense forces were engaged in skirmishes across the country, the ancient ruins known as the Tetracyclic Towers were witnessing having roofs engulfed in what is described as a black sphere. The towers had previously shown signs of activity following the birthday celebration when they emitted a mysterious light. Researchers are taking notice, and towers are under observation. Fighting in the capital. Yesterday at noon, in a capital already crippled by an orbital blackout, fighting broke out as Crimson soldiers plowed through army lines and began pouring into Grand Selvia airships. Where'd you go, Cap? Oh, there you go. Okay. Mysteriously able to use their own orbments despite all others remaining inoperative, the invaders easily pushed on towards the castle. It seemed almost certain the Royal Keep would fall. Just as things seemed hopeless, an unexpected ally took the field of battle in the shape of the former Intelligence Division Special Ops. The same unit that had been dismantled for their treasonous actions used the chaos of the attack in the capital not to escape, but to defend their homeland against the Crimson invaders. With the arrival of these players, the tide turned and the Royal Army was able to counterattack. Between the combined might of the Royal Army, the Intelligence Division's combat specialists, and the bracers who joined the fray, the enemy was forced to retreat and the threat was averted. The true nature of these Crimson soldiers has been wrapped in mystery until an investigation from the Royal Army and Bracer Guild revealed the armed units to be under the command of a mysterious organization, a society. Given the sophisticated equipment of this group, it's believed the society possessed significant technical leverage and underfunding, but their goal remains unclear. And to my knowledge, like frickin' 20 years later, we still don't know what the hell they actually want. Breaking news! Heir to the throne named. The first bit of bright news in a while, Queen Alicia held a press conference where she named her granddaughter, Princess Claudia, Crown Prince and official heir to the throne. Abbreviated ceremonies formally installed the 16-year-old princess as heir and have taken place. We hope to overcome her current national troubles and make her future a bright one. It has become clear that the orbital shutdown phenomenon is occurring not just in the capital but across the nation. However, Professor Russell, with the aid of the Central Factory, has developed a new invention called the Zero Field Generator that may have opened a path to resolution. This device produces orbital energy that neutralizes the shutdown phenomenon and restores orbitants within a few inches to normal operation. Production of these devices requires high-level machinery, however, and its mass production is difficult. The Royal Army and Bracers Guild have managed to restore communications at bases with these units. We hope that this revolutionary invention will eventually alleviate some of the troubles caused by this phenomenon. And that's actually the last issue of the news. Okay, apparently that's a centimeter. Excuse me, not an inch. I should have known. Hang on, I'm being bitten and clawed. Are you having fun, cat? Are you having fun? Ahem. So, moving on. Do I think the ancient evil civilization is evil or merely naive? Well, they are evil and ancient. But, all jokes aside, there's really only two possibilities there. Benevolent precursors or negligent precursors. Well, and abusive, I guess. So I guess there's three possibilities. So, benevolent, abusive, or negligent. I'm gonna say... I don't know, I don't have any real information to go off of, as weird as that sounds. Nothing I would consider cohesive, at least. What an overwhelming view. The city's this big? And we're sure no one still lives here, right? I don't think so. I have to imagine everyone left before the city was sent to the other dimension. In fact, I imagine the ancestors of modern Liberalians came from this place. Makes like my great whatevers lived here? We never knew? Actually, makes some sense. There have always been a few traces of old Zemuria, not just in Liberal, but everywhere. But the city just disappeared. Of course, those who lived in the sky would not leave traces on the ground, and their home in the clouds is removed from this mortal coil. Seems to be getting crazier with each step we take. Anyway, the view's really pretty, but what is this place? It feels different from the rest of the Earth. The nature theory so far, it may just be a scenic view, but it does feel a bit more important. That screen over there looks like something you're meant to interact with. No. Right. Hang on, got alt-tab again. I hate alt-tabbing in this game so much. Alright, it's okay. One more game of alt-tabbing, freezing the game. And then we'll never have to deal with that again. Oh god, what's Bismarck's name again? I don't remember how to spell it. I don't know how to look it up. Yeah, I like the Mako reactors too. Osborne. Halo Rail, West Kalmar Station. The Halo Rail system is currently operating at limited capacity. We apologize for the inconvenience. Please select this service from this terminal. Gospel-based citizen ID checks are not required for service at this time. At this time. What's a Halo Rail system? Some kind of rail-based transit system, I guess. When there's a transit authority, I guess. The floating island is called the Liber Arc. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Liber? No way. Yeah, way, I think. We've just discovered the origin of the name of Liberal. Holy Stragus. Personally, I find the gospel reference more interesting. From the way this is written, they must have been ubiquitous. Everyone must have had one. Sounds like they should as an ID thing. Yeah. Just too much taken at once. Anyway, it looks like we don't need the gospel to do stuff here. Let's see what we can do. Built as the ultimate in relaxation for the citizens of the Ark, the Kalmar District is Liber Ark's premier park and recreation district, located in the west of the city. Each section of the park... Hold on. It's a floating city that can rotate. What is west exactly? Each section of the park, designed around a theme of harmony between progress and nature, is a hexagon exactly 300 arg across. Kalmar as a whole is made up of dozens of these hexagons. The Kalmar district has 4 Halo rail stations, north, east, south, and west. Each station's tour path routes through different sections of Kalmar, allowing us to enjoy vistas of all the seasons and wildlife Kalmar has to offer. Halo rail service currently limited. Would you like to activate emergency mode? No. Hang on. Let's check the shop. Liberté. Yeah, I'm still putting it on everything. Oh, hello. Those cost 1,000. No, I don't have 1,000 water. God damn it. In the event of a service disruption of the Halo Rail, a gate must be unlocked at each station, leading to substratum across access passages. In accordance with emergency protocols, this station's gate can be unlocked. Would you like to do so at this time? And yeah, this is probably that. But I could have had another one, Lucas Slaughter. There's loot I don't have. Activate. Oh, yeah, that looks safe. There's something coming. World. This is supposed to be a car for the Halo Rail. What are you doing? What are you doing? You have to wonder how it works without, well, here's some of the light rail systems used throughout Eberoni, I thought. Make the rails out of actual light. The ancients knew this value of spectacle and humor. It was a bit over my head, but if it gets where we go without dropping us in the clouds, I'm all for it. Sure. Other stations are operating. We're sorry, but we're not available. Real informative. Thanks, creepy disembodied voice. Sounds like the other stations need to be in this emergency operations mode if we intend to get around. But I'm afraid the Halo Rail isn't of much use to us. Nuts. Here I was getting hopeful for once. Well, let's see if we can find another way around. Oh yeah, ancient tech never falls apart. Remember, old stuff is more valuable and better built than new stuff. Well, now that we've unlocked this... Let's say time for actual first of the last dungeons here. I have seen older cards. I also seen how a Game Boy is still functional like now. I contest the assertion, though. Fiction likes to pretend that everything older is just better than everything modern, which is ridiculous and stupid. No, stuff that's built to last is stuff that's built to last, regardless of when exactly it comes out. No, if I thought this was actually the last Dungeon Malker Blade, I would already chopped down a little guessing game. Speaking of which, the score should be up to date if anybody wants to adjust their guesses. What the hell are these things? Dark Lamp. A subterranean monster that absorbs its prey's HP. Yeah, how did you manage that, by the way, Malker Blade? I've been wondering. Did you drop it or what? Gross. Gross. I was gonna say, 71 GP at this point would be crazy.
We're not done yet.
Dominion. This space for rent. So I'm guessing that's a crossbow for Kevin, who we of course do not have a party. And never will, looks like. Is this your way of asking me out on a date? This is Estelle's idea of a date right here. Oh, let me guess. I can't equip it because it's a 3. You look familiar. Didn't we meet in the last game? Maybe. What I'm really curious about, and please do not answer this question, is what the hell they're going to do with the third game now. Like, obviously, we went through an ancient civilization thing at the end of the first game, and now we're going through another ancient civilization thing in the second game. But at the same time, where do they go from here? My guess is we're going to deal with the Enforcers either in this game or the next, and then Weissman in this game or the next. One of the two. I read that one. It's empty, but if you put your head in here, you can hear the ocean. What? Why are there weird mutant creatures on the ancient civilization spot? You know, I don't care. Go away.
Finished.
I mean, unironically, one of my current theories. So you're asking, do I think the Zemurians were, you know, benevolent, negligent, or, you know, malicious? I have a theory that we're going to find out that the Zemurians were not the ancient civilization. Now, that's not uncommon. I mean, Xenogears did that, for example.
Good to go.
Twice. 3 times, technically. But I'm thinking the Zemurians are just the most recent ancient civilization. Yes? Kinda like that, yeah. Replace the whatever made the Septarians with the Reapers, and you get the general idea of what I'm thinking. And that would make the Zemurians the equivalent of the Protheans. Yes? What a lovely city. I guess this is where the ancients actually dwelled. Yes, it does seem more of a residential area than our crash site is. It's kind of nice and homey here, I guess. You know, this just bothers me more. Why did the residents abandon such a nice city? Seems a good place to find an answer to that question. We need to find a new route anyway. Shall we investigate? Now that's interesting, Mook. Because what that says is that we don't know the answer to that question yet. Huh. Yeah, okay. What? What? What are you yahoos doing here? I won't let you hear the Bobcat anymore. What's your gun working? And Josette's dead. Oh well. Kyle, Don, Joshua. Looks like someone's in over their head. As I say, they've probably been here for a really long time. I remember they were like, let's go after the ship. Oh no, we're gonna crash. Ah. Like, I remember that whole sequence. I'm not sure how they got up here, quite frankly. Unless they were flying way higher than they should have been. I can always poke a nice big air hole in your head with my staff, you grimy tomboy. Talk later. Fight first. Oh, brother. Yeah. She's already at half health. Okay. Let's start getting some CP going. That is our norm. Jesus, game. Give me a second, would you? Let's see how Gehenna operates in this game, shall we? He healed. Good face. And stop crushing on Joshua. My man. Okay, you can take him. He's worthless. I'm picturing in a game where the combat system is a little more complex, what you could do with someone like Joshua. Like, have him not be able to do much damage by himself, but be able to either take advantage of combos with some nice damage, or to be able to set up combos, right? Even in something as absolutely basic as flanking or provoking a flank would be interesting. Estelle walks up, whack, and then Joshua gets behind him, and you get the idea. And yeah, being able to maybe like have him, I don't know. Yeah, maybe like make it so his crit chance is through the roof if he's flanking, or if someone else sets up a combo. Maybe make it so his chain attacks are different. I don't know, just something.
We're good to go!
In a game that had such a thing as attack of opportunities or zone control, he would be a perfect person to ignore that. Right? Like, he could just move through the enemy units and completely not care about what their positioning is, because he can just dodge or bypass or stealth his way past everything. Okay, that's that. Nearly bet my staff on that one. One of Society's heavyweight archaisms. The Leor Gun EZ. It's meant to be used for location defense, though, not assault. I wonder about that later. I'm glad you're safe, Josette. What are the Capuas doing here? Yeah, after you left, we hid out near the border. This weird thing appeared in the sky. We tried checking out the Bobcats. We tried checking it out, When we tried checking it out, the Bobcat's power cut out. And you guys cratered. Hang on. Shouldn't your brothers be here? You guys are usually all together. Did they head out to scout or something? Whoa, what's wrong? Josette, please, calm down. We're here, don't worry. Take your time. Tell us what happened. Joshua! Why? Hey! Those creeps took my family. Kyle and Don baited them so I could get away. Joshua, what do I do? Oh my god, look at their beds. Oh my god, look at their beds. They've even got like a thing near the head to do God knows what. Sorry I lost it. Guess you guys didn't expect that, huh? I think I'm a little calmer now. Eyes on you, Capua. Eyes on Josette. Can you tell us what happened? Yeah. We managed to crash about as gracefully as we could, right? And our orbits work now, so we got to work fixing the Bobcat. The engine wasn't really damaged, but the rest of the ship was a mess. We're nosing around looking for material to use for repairs, so we shared the same fate. It's 3 days ago now. Jesus! Where have you been getting food? We've gotten the materials we need, and we're just about to start the real repair work when this octopus-like machine appeared. After I shot it, the red airship showed up. The Jaegers came flooding out of it as soon as it landed. Ah, you shot down a Vogel. They used those for scouting and patrols. It alerted the enemy to your location the instant it was destroyed. I knew it. But what do I do? It's all my fault Kyle and Don were taken. Knock it off with the mopey face. If they got caught, let's go rescue them. But even if they're criminals, they're being held quite illegally. They deserve bracer protection. Besides, we have some biscuits to grind with the society anyways. It's time to grind biscuits. What makes you think we want to be saved by the likes of bracers? The likes of bracers, huh? So you can save them by yourself? Besides, you helped us when we escaped the Glorious. It's way past time we return the favor. Josette, Estelle's right. If you run it on your own, you'll just get caught, and you won't help anyone just staying here. You know that, right? Why don't you head to the RSA for the moment? I suspect Kyle and the others are being kept on the Glorious. There's a good chance it's docked to the island somewhere. If we continue to investigate, I suspect we'll find it. We'll tell you when we locate it, I promise. Alright, if you say so, Joshua. I'm not gonna just sit around and twiddle my thumbs, though. I'm gonna help, too. Try to impress all you want, but it's too late, Miss Tomboy. At least I... okay. I'm not really. I don't know what it is with you two, but can you try to get along? Yeah, Joshua. He just say that? He just said that. You've stepped on a landmine, my friend. You utter dunce. Hey, Capua. Choose for the moment, okay? Agreed. We have bigger fish to fry than each other right now. Wait, I'm glad you're calling truce, but what bigger fish are you talking about? Did I... Oh, it's nothing. Why do you think a thing like that, Their smiles filled me with such terror. Please form your party. Do you want Josette in your party? No! I do not! Also, having her join this late in the game, she's going to be a playable in 3, isn't she? Don't answer that. Before she left, Josette said she hadn't found any other ways out. Yeah, the bridges must have collapsed. We must switch the district. Comb the district! Is she even any good? No! that's a great answer. No. She's one of the worst characters in the game. Why would they give that to us here in the final dungeon? In fact, honestly, real talk, I would say that, like, okay, per the standard rules of video gaming, if you get a character in what is functionally the last dungeon, usually that means the game is telling you to use that character, right? Like, that's what that means. So, yeah, a normal player would be perfectly forgiven to be like, oh, I better add her to the party. Gold. Gold. Sorry. Right, I can't equip that. God damn it! Due to communication interruptions with the Axis Pillar, services may be temporarily restricted. Cradle 35, Municipal Office. The Halo Rail is a groundbreaking transit method unique to the Libra Arc. Utilizing our powerful spatial manipulation technology, the system projects a force field rails as needed, removing all need for physical rails. Perhaps the greatest advantage of the system is the total lack of restriction on rail placement. It's possible to flexibly connect to every one of the city's countless stations directly. The Halo Rail helps carry all citizens to a pleasant, fulfilling city life. Should you have business in other sectors, make sure to make use of it. All Halo Rail station terminals are capable of printing rail passes, and offer a host of other services. Of these, the online shop is noteworthy for providing various useful daily items, as well as offering many sorts of tickets and passes. Furthermore, in the case the Halo Rail main service is inoperative for some reason, users may engage station in emergency operations mode, as well as open emergency substratum passages at all terminals. Emergency operations mode is, as the name implies, the emergency last-ditch operation mode for the Halo Rail service. Should an emergency arise, in which power from the Axis Pillar is cut to the Halo Rail, this mode switches the rail to local backup, allowing for semi-normal operations on a temporary basis. As this mode is operated on a station-by-station basis, should multiple stations suffer power cuts, emergency operations mode must be enabled at each station, or they will not be able to connect. Due to current communications error with the Axis Pillar Central Registrar, all reissued gospels will be temporary. I want a gospel for Joshua. What's your name? George. What? What? I was gonna say, none of my buttons were doing anything at all. Bio pattern not found in database. Importing gospel print. Must be matching the name and biological signature of the applicant. If we can somehow have both, there's little we can do here. So short of pulling a citizen out of the past, we're not going to get anywhere with this. Seems pretty advanced and probably a little over our heads. Might be a good idea to go back to talk to Professor Russell about this. I was about to freak out as I'm like, oh god, am I soft locked? It's a hell of a bug. What happens on the PSP version, I wonder? Yeah, I noticed Weissman was actually present as an option. Report on heightened city security. In recent years, there's been a notable increase in crime in less populated areas of the city, such as the Factoria blocks. As a result of this, heightened security measures were introduced, and while some citizens may have experienced some inconvenience as a result, those measures were designed to have the least impact possible on individual freedoms. However, despite these measures, the crime rate continues to increase. The Council therefore asks citizens to cooperate with a number of restrictions. The following will apply to all citizens. Terminal use will require personal gospel ID checks, periodic inspections performed at all blocks, civilian access to the Axis Pillar restricted. Heightened security may result in some inconvenience for citizens, but these measures are designed to ensure the safety of all residents of our fair city. We hope you understand and will offer your complete cooperation. Yeah. Yeah, where are the corpses? Are they turned into starch? So we need a gospel to progress. But looks like we can, like, go back to the previous station and skip the dungeon we just went through. finally be able to use these things, right? Oh, what? Dream Whisperer? Also, hi, Dream Whisperer. It didn't take very long. For as fast as mine, there's barely any vibration or unsteadiness either. To be honest, this technology is a bit mind-blowing. Oh, the rewind. Yeah, that's pretty recent, like within the last week recent. As nice as it is to go fast, the view is amazing. I wish I went a bit slower so you can enjoy it. Of course, this also solves the travel problems we had. Move us to locate the local rail station as soon as we enter a new area, I believe. Thanks, game. I understand basic functionality. Hey, look. I can see the edge of the map over there. Do you see on the left? I found the edge of the world, everyone! Oh god, there's an edge of the world on the right, too! No! We're just in front of a picture, no! It's a cookbook! A cookbook! Sorry. Ahem. What I'm hearing is I should play the third game in 4x3. Hi, Gisette. The false reality of the Truman Show. We found something pretty weird, though. Well, explain. Let's see. The citizen's name on record to be issued a gospel. You wouldn't have to know the names of a bunch of folks from an ancient civilization, would you? Of course not. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not that old. However, those data crystals have some things. Aha! To the datal crystals. The datal crystals. Hold on. What? $1154. So that was about 40-ish years ago? No, that was 48 years ago. Is when Professor Bob in the sovereign state of Lehman died. Huh. That makes sense, because, Orbital Revolution, but he died 2 years, if I'm doing my dates correctly, after the Orbital Revolution started. Huh. Okay, so, under analysis... What? My name is slightly covered by the UI. Damn it, game, come on! My name is Celeste D. Ostlees. I am the designer of the seal mechanism, and the woman ultimately responsible for the sealing of the Oriole. I have decided to leave behind a series of records for the world to come, in case the second seal is activated, and the Oriole, which we sealed in another dimension, should threaten to return. If you who read this message seek to prevent the Oriole's return, I pray this information will aid you. However, if you seek to restore the Oriole, I beg you reconsider. The Oriole's power is too great for we children of man to wield. When we used it, it connected us to the darkness of Gehenna. The purpose of the seals is to prevent any contact between the Oriole and humanity, thus ensuring humanity's survival. I feel the need to clarify, the Oriole itself does not wish to control or harm humanity. The disaster that visited us was our fate, our fault alone. Do not doubt the mercy of our great goddess in gifting this gift to us. Yeah, see, this is what I think. I think the goddess is part of the ancient Ear civilization. And whatever her organization was a part of, they're the ones who came up with the Septarians, right? And then the Zemurians are the ones who then used that and built off of that. But then they fell apart due to the Great Collapse, I think is what they called that. Whatever that is. Yeah, exactly, PM Triox. In truth, the construction and implementation of this seal goes directly against the will of the people and our democratic ideals. Even among our group, some believe we should try to find a way to use the Oriole's power effectively. However, once it obtained autonomy, the Oriole began to change our society and our lives drastically. It did not concern itself with our physical well-being. Consider mental well-being to be a top priority as well. To provide an example, the Oriole facilitated the creation of virtual realities intended to induce euphoria in participants. It even altered brain chemistry to achieve this. It was no different than a powerful euphoric stimulant and hallucinogen at the same time. Where still, there were no side effects. Whoa. Such boons have brought humanity's very continued existence into question. The effects already begin to tell upon our citizenry. We have precious little time left to us. As a result, we few have overcome our differences to undertake the sealing, all too aware of the many difficulties we are to face in the process. In order to make the seal mechanism into a reality, we need both enormous amounts of energy and massive facilities. We, to source the energy, first thought of using the Oriole itself. The Oriole responds to people's wishes, gives it boons. In other words, by wishing, we thought that perhaps we could pull the amount of energy from the Oriole. However, that did not come to pass. Shortly after it gained autonomy, it turned to simply one-sidedly bestowing its gifts regardless of the wishes of the people. Yeah, wouldn't it be great to never feel anything bad ever again? Like, I'm all for solving death, but we cannot use the power of the Oriole. Casting our eyes beyond the city, we began to consider using the energy sleeping in the septium veins that reside deep beneath the earth. And eventually resolved to build on top of those. However, we already were under the watch of the Oriole. It seems the Oriole had come to the conclusion that its first priority was the continuation of the city, and therefore the elimination of all potential obstacles to that. So to deceive the Oriole, we proceeded with the construction of these buildings in the guise of monitoring septium veins. The facility was built roughly 500 meters beneath the earth on the eastern side of Valeria Lake. According to our investigations, this was the location where the septium veins gathered most efficiently. The land beneath the city was a sprawling primal forest. As it was untouched by human activity, building on top of it proved remarkably easy. We, while avoiding the attention of the Oriole, collected all the technology we had, and hurried to complete the underground facility. While the construction of the underground facility was underway, we built additional structures in the fringes of the surface. The Ahanberg, whose inner walls pointed ever towards the Oriole, and the 4 device towers that surround the Oriole. Each system of structures possessed a critical role in the plan and were vital to the seal mechanism of the underground facility. To be continued. They want what's best for us, Malcor. Don't you want what's best for everyone? Don't you want everyone to be happy? That's a good question, Chloe. Because plot, I would imagine. I mean, I'll be real, I would hate that. But that's because I'm weird and stupid. I can acknowledge that. See, I have this thing, this is true, I'm going to be real for just a second. I believe in choice. And I don't use the word believe lightly. Like, it's probably the closest thing to sacred in my mind. If everybody could just be given whatever they wanted forever and always, without choice, then what's the point? I mean, hell, that's built into us as babies. Anybody who's ever taken care of a young child knows. Even though they can't fully feed themselves, they still want to try. We call it, Mama, I can do it myself. Okay. So, back to the thing we were just at. I don't remember which door it was. We'll just guess here. Nope. Now, I do think some people like to swing too far the other way on that. But, I mean, hell, I'm pretty sure that's the main evil plan of several villains across several fictions. Take away people's choice to take care of them, for the good of humanity, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so, request. Chloe. Celeste. Oslis. What? But that... Oh, the letter is... Okay, that makes more sense. Sorry, I thought the letter was for establishing, not for being its own thing. So we got D. It's a real gospel, just like they used in ancient past. Yeah, the society replicas are made. Yeah, I picked A because her name was Oslis. It started with an A, so that's... I'm surprised the computer thinks we're so biologically similar, though. Yeah, 73%, actually. That's, not possible, to be really blunt. I was going to say, Horizon Zero Dawn liked to play with that concept, but that was just as nonsense over there. Right, I didn't answer your question, Lucas Slaughter, sorry. I thought it was a good example of why Olivier is so much of an actor. Just another mask. I imagine that his entire life growing up has just been a series of masks, right? And constantly trying to keep those masks up because of the extremely dangerous nature of Erebonian politics and the Erebonian nation as a whole. They also mentioned he's a bastard, and that could be a generic term, but I like to think that he's actually a bastard, a illegitimate heir. And, well, that comes with its own dangers as well. It was also interesting to see a reasonable authority figure amongst the Erebonian military, which was nice. And of course, Cassius was 10 steps ahead of everyone, as is his norm. Yeah, that's why I thought, oh my god, he's Crown Prince. But no, he's a bastard prince. And while that carries some different impact, there's still a lot of impact behind that. Okay, so gate lock release, please. Gate lock release. Why are you not? You really want me to do this manually, game? Okay. Fine. Whatever. Yeah, we also learned that Richard was going to marry her off to him, which... I don't know how much he thought about that. Because that's an interesting choice. And also almost guaranteed to lead to a power struggle. Let's find out. Okay, never mind. Do I think even Richard made that decision? That's a good question, admittedly. And no, I'm not sure he did make the decision. on the one hand, yeah, that is pretty much guaranteed to destabilize Erebonia, which is something that Richard would probably be in favor of. But on the other hand, that would almost guaranteed turn Liberl into one of the excuses for the conflict that would break out about that. So, yeah, that would not be in Liberl's best interest as a nation. Right? Dungeon 2. Why are there all, like, weird mutant flesh monsters here? Usually when there's that kind of a thing, there's a reason for it. Like, it's not just, it's the final dungeon. There's like an excuse, a lore explanation for why the ancient advanced civilization is flooded with mutant creatures. See, I was thinking the same, but if... I wonder. Yeah, Grandia's Final Dungeon is a good example of that. Alright, so step 1. Okay, I didn't mean for fire to be the step 1. Sorry, let me try that again. Okay, step 1. Summon demons. Hermes gear. Yeah, I'll accept that. This is a long trip for one pair of boots, I gotta be honest. This is a narrow corridor until I got to that point. No. Let's try up first. Oh. More Sepith. Yay! More slot upgrades. I'm so glad you checked this chest. I'm you from the future, and I came back in time to work, and I worked on this game so I could warn you about... Which requires 3, of course. Oh my god, these 3 slots are killing me. How'd you like it if some random chest opened to you? Yeah, that's called a mimic. Four exits. Well, that one's the farthest, so that's probably the correct way to go. So we'll go the obvious way, because that's probably the incorrect way to go. Nope. This was the right way. Damn it. Whatever. God. It'll cost her 5 CP with 5 enemies to hit. And you, keep getting CP going. In fact, everyone gets CP going. Oh, whatever. Or worse, Trihexia. Remember, Weissman is currently trying to get the Oriole. Think about that for a second. God, what's the name of it? Hang on one second. Oh God, I can't think of the freaking name of it. There it is. Sorry. So yeah, based on what we know right now, I would say the most likely outcome of what Weissman is after is Tranquility Lane. Oh wait, this is the correct book. I don't want to correct that. Backtrack. Hello, Morganite. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Stop reading all the chest messages. Get on with playing the game. Dude, look. Well, if I keep my pace, we might actually be able to beat the game today, which would be nice. But I'm not really holding my breath on that. We've got a fairly massive last dungeon, then who knows how big of an outro. You open the chest to see a man's face, just smiling at you. Unsettled, you back away and close the lid. Let's not open that one again. Some kind of large plaza. They really like their water up here, don't they? Factoria. The criminal area. That's probably the water reclamation facility. Building such overwhelming size. Roads are so broad and open, too. I wonder what this place was. This may be an industrial area. It makes sense that the water is for industrial use. Yeah, that makes sense. Guys, let's have a look around. Never mind, those might just be cooling facilities. Look, I'm not going to say anything about how much I've played Factoria or not. Co-op. Actually, never really played Factorio solo. Just occurred to me. When I play for the stream, that'll be one of the first times. Or Dream Whisperer. He says, uncertainly. By order of the Axis Pillar, Factoria District is currently on security lockdown. Please enter security password. Cool. Damn you, Dream Whisperer. Damn you. Yep, okay. So, there's the Glorious. Never thought we'd actually end up in a place like this. What do you figure they make us do now? No clue. Professor and the Enforcers all head out together, though. There's doubt there's much left for us. Probably just capturing intruders like those bandits, you think? Yeah, that Liberalian ship crashed down here too, didn't it? Do we need to deal with them? We got orders on that. Professor says to ignore them until he and the others get back. Not like we can do much till their ship's fixed. Okay. Just as Sieg said, eastern side of the city. It's enormous. This may perhaps be your chance. Yes, if the major society members are absent, this is the best shot we have at taking the capital. Wait a sec, I'm all for going in, but shouldn't we tell Gisette? We're gonna rescue her brothers. Don't misunderstand, it's just, a responsible, bracing thing to do. Let's head back to the Halo rail station. You what? I have to use her for this section? I'm just irritated by the backtracking, if I'm being completely honest with you. So now I gotta go all the way back to the RSI. Say. Down here, and then across the thing, and go over to the thing, and then talk to the lady, and then switch the party members, and then have her be completely useless. It's okay, she's only the worst character in the entire series. You mean the game, right? No, the series. Alright, fine.
Together now.
Come here. While we are here, let's check two things. So it's going to put that... Was it silver, I think? Yes. There. Where's my sapphire? He does. Look, green hair is cool and all, really, but like, god dang it. Guess that's it for now. Alright, whatever. Oh, wait, no, there was one other thing I wanted to check. Ahem. When we were closing in on completing the underground facility, unbeknownst to us, our SEAL plan was discovered by the Oriole. Our comrades fell victim to the sweet seduction of the Oriole euphoric simulations, and he was lost to us. However, the silver lining of this disaster was that this comrade was not aware of the full scale of the plan. With the information it gleaned from his mind, the Oriole focused entirely on the underground facility by the lakeside, and paid no attention to the Ahrenberg or the device towers. The Oriole, having learned of our plan, took to force. The Oriole manifested reveries as its defenders and set them upon us in the facility. However, we were saved by our decision to build the facility underground. Just one single channel connected the facility to the surface. The reverie attacks could not reach down 500 ARA beneath the surface. The attacks by the reveries went on, day and night without pause. Eventually, our defensive line began to reach its limits. While under attack by the reveries, we were able to finish the facility, but it took time to secure the necessary energy. In the process, it seems we got careless, and a single reverie broke into the facility proper. Once inside, stopping it was difficult. The reverie reached the deepest sections in an instant. We were just about a hair's breadth from total disaster when the full power for the sealing operation finally gathered. Just as the reverie was on us, we activated the first barrier. Was that the final boss of the first game? Was this one reverie that got through? The light fired from the facility, reflecting off the inner wall of the Ahrenberg, caught the Oriole floating in the sky. In that moment, the Oriole disappeared from us, and the reverie stopped entirely. Through this, we knew the first barrier was successful. The Oriole is of the Septarians, the treasure governing the power of space. It was needed to nullify it, which held absolute dominion over space itself, was to utterly sever its connection to space, and indeed even to time itself. The seal mechanism, born of our hard work, sent the Oriole along with the entire city into another dimension, and successfully temporarily froze it. So, okay, hang on. I've been sort of assuming that they kind of evacuated the Oriole and then sealed it off, but if they were under gun when they were building the seal, that means, logically speaking, they probably didn't have time to evacuate the city. Which means, yeah, there probably were people here when they sealed in another dimension. So, you know. Yeah, some Soma vibes here, to be honest with you. No spoilers, but yeah. Yeah, I would not want to be one of those people. That's my line, Airhead. How'd you get here? They're called legs. You might have heard of them. Give me back my brothers. Alright. Josette, I have a very important task for you. Go back there and do nothing.
Pansies!
Doesn't even have an S-craft. That's funny. Is the interior of the Glorious? Yeah, it's a lot of wasted space. A lot. Kind of stupidly huge, isn't it? Ouroboros probably has combat archaisms all over the place. You guys escaped from the ship before, right? Any idea where Carl and Don are? Actually, maybe. It's technically a guest room. Brig said they do have an actual prison. I remember seeing it. Yeah, they had electromagnetic barriers raised to try and stop our escape, remember? It prevented us going over the ship. The barriers are up right now. This is our best chance. So there's a small staircase to the lower decks. Let's go then. Just the hangar down there. It's because I finally codified a bunch of character positives. Guys. What the? Josette and... Miss Josette, how'd you get in here? I'll think ideas. Think ideas, everyone's safe. Okay, just stay still. We're here to rescue. We'll get you out. Rescue us? What the hell is this? What are you even doing here? How'd you get up to the city? Briefly, it's the end of the world and we're to stop it. Ah, you came here chasing the society again. Hey, Josette, you realize we put ourselves in the line so you could get away, right? Are you completely dense? Maybe I was safe, but I was all alone. I thought you were all... I thought it would have been better if we'd all been ideas together. And what if I don't want my little sister to meet the goddess just yet? Worry about yourself for once in your life, damn it. But I am worrying about myself. Why do you think I have nothing to do with me? What do you think would happen to me if you... Okay. Come on, you two. This might be the single worst place to have a fight right now. Still acting like kids after all this time, I swear. Look, Kyle, she's here. We can't chance it. Let's go. It is you. It is you. Any way to force the field? Maybe a bomb on the energy border thingies? No, the barrier itself would be unaffected by conventional explosives. Anything powerful enough to damage the bulkhead would put the prisoners in danger. Yeah, probably vaporize them. We need to find an up-to-date security card. So where do we keep security cards? Second floor. So we'll be right back. Make sure our little sister doesn't fly too far off the handle. I can tie an actual leash around you, though. Please, truce, remember. Yeah, we could be running, but, you know, let's just sit here and chat for a minute. And then the enemy shows up. At last, I found you. I thought I wouldn't be able to have time to find you, but you were standing here stalking this entire time. There we go. Oh no! Save my S-craft. Ah, whatever. When everyone talks for so long that, like, they end up losing. I do admit I like the idea. That just hits the screen. What was that spell? Zoe. Do you have a Chad? Throw out a middle anchor. Yar. Good morning, Evo. Good evening, J. Palmer. What? Could be. Maybe, Evo. We're in the final dungeon. That is not as far in as you'd think. I didn't watch it, J. Palmer, no. I didn't. I woke up 20 minutes before I hit stream. I barely had time to eat breakfast. In fact, all I had was a bowl of cereal. So functionally, no. This is probably worth doing.
Eat this! Anchor bound!
Well, we'll see, Evo. We've got the final dungeon, which is going to be absolutely chock-packed. Chock-full, jam-packed of story stuff. And then, of course, we're going to have the ending, which is going to be who knows how long. And then the to be continued leading to the third game. I can't even guesstimate at this point, other than what I've already said.
Well, that takes care of that.
Yeah, Cold Steel games are close to double the length of this. No. Seriously. This is down. I don't want to go down. Or do I? Apparently I do. Well, they kept me locked up. Yep, this is the second floor. Among other things, the Jaeger barracks and the briefing rooms are in this section. What are we looking for? Well, let's spend several moments talking about it rather than actually looking. I'm pretty sure everyone here who's played Cold Steel enjoyed them. Whatever that's worth. Security card. If you have a security card, you can lower the security barrier. Now, let's double check something just really quick. What's a voice pattern? This is an explanation of a voice pattern. Why does society have such high technology? One of the Anguis is a man named Dr. Navardis. He leads the 13 factories of Ouroboros in the development of radical orbital technology. Yeah, I've never heard of Navardis either. He makes stuff like this, though. I can only picture he's someone who's even bigger mad scientist than Professor Russell. Less mad, more completely incomprehensible from what I remember. Of course, to some extent that's true for all Anguis, including Weissman. Yeah, why are the Anguis all... Ugh. I mean, I get the gimmick squad for the Enforcers, but you wouldn't think that'd be the Anguis. Oh, well. Yeah, I've heard multiple times that even for fans of the series, the padding in 4 is a little bit silly. Are you kidding me with this? Oh my god. Alright, whatever. Hang on. So, okay. Thank you, Jay Palmer, for the donation. I'll deal with the bunny squad in a second here. Halo, SPV3, Secret, Weapons, Normandy, and Sky Odyssey. Sure, Terra, why not? Gilbert? In the Academy? So they did bring you along. Well. I'd wondered what manner of fools would dare attempt storming the Glorious. I had an inkling it might be you. What? Hey, do you guys know this dude? Yeah, he's an alumnus of the Royal Academy, but he's not much of an alumnus after attacking it, Chloe. We first met and arrested his dumb butt when he was flunking the flunky of Ruan's corrupt mayor. He escaped during the coup and apparently joined Ouroboros. Thought so. You're the guy locked up with us in Leiston, right? I remember him because he kept bawling and going on and on saying, I'm innocent, wah, all the time. What? Oh my. Right, anyways, none to let bother you, you know? Part of life, having to grow from pathetic moments like that, I mean. Though, given the uniform, I don't know how much he actually grew. Still, that's not exactly a comforting follow-up. Damn you! How much of a fool do you intend to play me for? But no matter. It just confirms I have no reason to show you mercy. You face now the power of the new Gilbert. Tremble! Of course, the new Gilbert has a mech. Must be a new model. Lion model Archasm, the Riot Arms. Cower, beg for life. I'm so evil and stupid. So, listen. No hard feelings.
Here I come!
That's actually distressing. Like, in a potentially negative territory kind of a way. Oh, well, whatever.
Let's see what color your blood is!
Let's see what color my blood is. It's probably red, dude. Seriously? And I have to fight this Yahoo with Josette, too.
This is what you get!
That's his actual voice actor, by the way.
Let's see what color your blood is!
Just... okay. There's only one way to know for sure.
It's just a flesh wound.
You know, most games know when to stop using, you know, the Joe character. Just saying. I've already given Gilbert a positive for being pathetic. I'm not giving him a second one. Just leave this lion here.
That's that. Let's move out.
Impossible. Even as a new man, I can't win. Can I point something out? That lion thing was actually pretty tough, but that doesn't mean you've gotten any stronger at all, does it? No. Yeah, the new man idea may have been a little premature. Lorf! Lorf? Lorf. Joshua, stab him before we leave, so he's not in any of the future games, please. Lorf. Anyways. One legit moment. Oh, right, we're not done escaping yet. Was it this way? No. This way? Still no. I can't join your party. I'm too powerful for the likes of you. Haven't we killed you in 100% of our encounters? Blorf. God, I don't remember where I'm going now. Ah, this stupid dungeon. It's the second door. Second door. Oh, whoops. Why do I have to... Okay, whatever. Get out of there. We owe you, it's cool, we saved your bacon. The alert's going off because Gilbert died. Run! Campanella's just watching. How fun that was. They're right there going, they'll be at the access pillar within the day. Jeez, Campanella. With things going this solidly according to plan, there's almost no point to me observing. Looks like I have a little time before the curtains rise for the real final act. Maybe I can mess with Gilbert a little until then. Yep. We did it! We didn't blow up the Glorious, though. Again. Alright then, we're gonna get back to preparing the Bobcat. We should have all the materials, but the real issue is that horrible shutdown thing. If we take off, we'll drop like a stone the instant we leave the city. Straight into a lake. Yeah. We can ask Professor. We still use the radio. We'll contact ourselves. I'm guessing you're going to keep looking for the Oriole. Yeah, we are kind of in the final dungeon. Alright. You guys looking for treasure too, huh? Please don't equate yourself with me, ever. Okay, so why don't you keep working with Joshua's team? You should stay in the party, Josette. You should stay in the party. Josette's a great help. She'd be a big help with the coming battles. Narrator. She would not. Is that wrong? No, Josh, was she serious? Serious as you'll ever see her. There's the headache. Wait, Capel, what's that face? Nothing. Just total resignation that I'm in the command of an airhead. How about I order you off the edge of the island, then? Worthless has joined the party. Oh, now she has her S-craft. Now that we're done with her, and we'll never use her again. Ever. Okay, I'll use her once. Just to show off her S-craft. Right, so we still need the passcode. Which we never learned. Hey, Savicon. I've been busy because I haven't even been responding to basic text messages, but I did get your text about the cat. And he appears to be fine. Do I need to get the passcode back on the Glorious? No. Let's see what's up here. Yeah, he's fine. He's just vacuuming money out of my wallet. So, a huge number of JRPGs settle on the 4 party members thing. Some of them settle on 3. But 3 or 4 is pretty much the norm. It's actually quite rare you'll see something that goes up, above, or below that. I'm just gonna Google this because I don't feel like bothering. Let's see. What? The reason behind the 3 or 4 thing is because of what is effectively basic math. Too small of a party is too problematic, and too large of a party can be too cumbersome. It's weird, isn't it, Mr. Red? 3 and 4, for that matter, are both generally considered to be like the averages in between too much and too few. Now, having said that, I actually don't agree with that personally or professionally, but that is what industry standard is. Now, as far as CRPGs... Yep, Orpheus. Thank you. Let's go. The biggest? Oh, jeez, I don't know. I mean, one of the tactical RPGs is the answer to that, but even those tend to have a party size cap. In the old days, so okay, most of the oldest of the CRPGs were based around, I believe it's 5 or 6. Whatever the number is, it's specifically the number that was decided upon for chainmail. And the strategy games of old, it's a squad, put very, very simply. And because that was the average size of a squad, it became the average size of a party pretty quickly. The only exception to that were things that used, I think it was 9? And 9 was because Lord of the Rings. Game, please stop pissing me off for 5 seconds. That's all I'm asking. Yes. Use the thing. Yes. Put in the password. Yes. We're good. Can I please move to the next area? Freaking finally! God damn it. But yeah... 4 is kind of a magic number. It is. It involves the least relative amount of work for the most relative output of gain. And it allows you to not be completely hampered if one person goes down. One of the biggest problems with smaller party sizes is the moment... Someone out there is a person who started playing Trails of the Sky second chapter before the first game. I bet they're very confused. I disagree with that. Anyways, I've seen RPGs that start in medias res that have less No, more? Less explanation than this game. Anyways. So yeah, so you run into the problem where if the party size is too small, losing even a single party member is horrifically damaging because of the concept of action economy, because the fact that you just no longer can keep up. Falling into a healing loop is a very, very common problem in a lot of older RPGs. So, you know, you don't want a party of 2, and honestly, frankly, I think 3 is too low, personally. That's just my opinion. I know several games do have a party size of 3, and I think it is a little bit too low, for the exact same reasons just mentioned. FF7 and Chrono Trigger both fall into that. Alright. Alright, Josette, this is the only reason you're still in the party. Wow me. God, your speed is so pathetic and terrible.
Told you I could handle this. Over here, Bobcat!
Actually, yes, Melkoblik. And indeed, I have already done so. Okay, that was decent. Yeah, we're in a tunnel. Look, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Press 6. Yeah, I saw the orbital laser earlier. That was amusing. So, here's the thing. That whole golden number thing, or the golden... Listen to me. The magic number of 3 or 4, really 4. It's... I don't want to say it's a lie, but it's more like it's not necessarily true. Might be a better way to phrase that. Because you can balance your game around whatever. If you design the game itself around the party size, then there's really no issues here, right? Looks like another open and shut case. So you can design a game that's balanced around 1 party member, Dragon Quest 1. You can design a game that's designed around, 5 party members, Final Fantasy 4. You get the general idea. It's all about how you design it, but the thing is, and there's no nice way to say this, it requires the least effort to design around 4. Yeah, you're just carrying around. Come on, princess, let's go. Let's do something. Right. Right, of course not. I mean, it's worthy of note that the moment they were no longer limited by screen space, FF4 immediately upped the party size. Now, they went back down to 4, and then down to 3, actually. But if you look at it from a development pipeline, you could tell that they were really irritated by being limited to 4 characters for quite a while there. It is also worth noting that they were trying to do something they didn't successfully do until Final Fantasy X. They wanted as many characters to be present with regards to story, right? Which is something they kind of toyed with over in FF2. Go away. Let me reiterate what I just said. Go away!
Nicely done.
Why does it keep giving me frickin' boots? Stop giving me boots. I want to stop looting if you don't stop giving me frickin' boots. Anyways, in FF4, they wanted 5 party members, not just for gameplay reasons, but for story. I know you haven't played FF4, Evo, but anybody who has can tell you immediately, the game is always cognizant of not just what your party size is, but who's in your party. And, with very few exceptions, they always balance an area around that party size. Which is awesome, first of all, let me just say that. But second of all, it's all narrative. By giving them 5 slots, they effectively unhinge themselves a little bit from the gameplay axis, so they can have as many party members as they want for the story in any given scene, which was the whole point. Oh, those frickin' boots. Oh, this is way too much health. What are you weak to? Nothing. Of course they're weak to nothing. And yeah, Dragon Quest was based off of the old stuff. So of course there's only one party member. Get up. Slowing me down. Who are you? Oh, you're Cosette. Nobody cares about you. Yeah, something I've mentioned before is that FF and Dragon Quest were both actually based on Western RPGs. As many people will gleefully point out, Ys arguably actually started the JRPG genre. And there's also the Dragon Slayer, I think was the name of the game. Something like that. Another 1 second, Evo. I actually have to pay attention. I know, I know. Oh no, Josette's dead. Yeah, exactly, Lucas Slaughter. They kinda... Jesus Christ. This is insane how many enemies I'm fighting here. Once again, and... Deja vu. It's pretty much just the quantity of enemies that's the problem here. Let's just... the next one. Hi. Yeah, for the record, these are basically Mauroboros. They can do random stat effects, one of which is Petrify, which is basically death.
Piece of cake.
Okay. So what was your question, Evo? I'm sorry. You mind repeating it? Because it's actually scrolled off the screen. You know, I'm just gonna leave Josette dead. We're cool. We're cool. More experience for the rest of us. I mean, you saw that I was AoEing every round with Chloe. Hey, this is... I was actually in the middle of saying something about the whole party size thing, and it's just gone now. It's that frickin' fight. Hey, look, it's definitely not the actual final dungeon. The Axis Pillar. Dun dun dun. I've seen the tower in the skyline since we crashed, but I didn't realize how big it was. Hey Joshua, the others are in there, aren't they? Almost certainly. I'd be willing to bet this tower originally served as the Ark's City Hall. I'd imagine there's information about the Oriole in there as well. So, this will be the hardest fight of our entire lives. We should go back to the RSA first. I do like how they flat out tell you to do that, even though I was planning to do that anyways. Oh, could you type that one more time, please, Eva? So... Come on! Okay. Let me unlock this. Let's head all the way back. Oh yeah, Falcon being one of the progenitors. I forget the exact specifics. I'll circle back to that. I want to answer Evo's question first. So games that allow you to recruit way too many people almost universally do that for one reason. It's because they want the player to have some kind of choice in their squad. It's a feature. It is very specifically a gameplay feature. I know that sounds strange, since you'd think that'd be the narrative axis, but no. Most of the time, when you have a game with that many playable characters, the overwhelming majority of them have no character, right? We actually just played one of those with Chrono Cross, where, honestly, I think it was, 3 of those characters had actual character? Frankly, Xenogears had that same problem, although that was unintentional in Xenogears' case. Baldur's Gate 2 is another perfect example of one where there's a fairly large party size overall, and really most of them are just there for ballast. They're there because you could just, hey, you want the rogue in your party? And yeah, Dragon Age Origins kind of has this issue too. Origins, I think, is one of the extremely rare ones that makes each character actually worth a damn. Origins is an exception on several things. Yeah, Deadfire is another good example of this. Where's the frickin' heal spot? Is it the... Where do I heal? Lowest level. Okay. I'll just rest with Kevin staring at us. I sort of assumed, since Kevin was in the room, that that was not our rest spot. And yeah, this one had agate in it. But yes, not to overpraise FF6 for the hyper 50 billionth time, but one of the things FF6 did actually do well, even for its characters which didn't have much story, is it managed to make each character distinct on the gameplay axis. So we've got Chloe and Olivier. And that's the big thing, right? If you're going to have that large of a party, what you really probably should do is make each character gameplay variant. Because otherwise, it's just bring the one you like the looks of, right? In fact, if I may, this is a sketch from ProZD. Just gonna share that really quick here.
Thank you for recruiting me, Dennis. My name is Gunther. I specialize in archery. Lysander Roth is my brother, and he killed everyone in my village, and I will not stop until I get revenge.
Okay, cool. Who are you?
I'm Sexica. I fight with a sword and also my breasts.
Now we're talking.
I wasn't done with my backstory.
My name's Bradicus. My nunchuck has a knife on it, and also a gun. And I'm very cool. Hell yeah, Bradicus!
Where did these people even come from? Why did you do it, Lysander Roth? Why did you shoot everyone in the village?
To test the limit of my abilities.
Guys, I feel like I should be in the party for this one.
Not now, Gumby.
It's Gunther.
If only my little brother Gunther could see me now.
Well, he just said my name. This is like my whole storyline.
I would show him the true potential of my power.
I think I have dialogue for this part.
Gopher, please.
Do you really need both Bradicus and Chaticus in your party?
Dude, Chaticus is awesome. My sword has a gun on it.
I'm Lysander Roth's brother.
And I'm very cool.
Are you kidding?
I don't even know who we're fighting.
Now, as usual, ProZD manages to be completely spot on while also being funny. Because that's the whole point. Most players, this is true, this has been true for a very long time. Most players just bring their favorites. What are their favorites? Maybe it's the ones that are hot. Maybe it's the ones that are cool. Maybe it's the ones that are just unique. Maybe it's ones they haven't played as recently. Maybe they feel like being different. Maybe they really hate that one of their friends likes this one character, and so they refuse to use them. There's a bunch of reasons for it. But the benefit of having that large of a pool, Chrono Cross, is that you can bring whoever your favorites are. Several viewers actually told me about that while we were going through Chrono Cross. Now, that is fine. And I'm going to just say it that way. That is fine. I would go so far as to say that that's what I would call a neutral in terms of review perspective. If you make the characters actually characters, Dragon Age Origins, then that's awesome. Story pluses. If you make the characters distinct in terms of how they play across each other, Final Fantasy VI, then that's awesome. Gameplay pluses. But most games don't hit either of these points, never mind both of them. No, Mr. Red. Yeah, maybe even though they have a little bit of story, that particular story resonates with you, right? I will freely admit, I'll use a specific example. Over in FF6, I like to use Setzer. When I was younger, it was because he was cool looking. I'm just going to be honest about that. But as I grew older and started to appreciate things more, I started to realize that his character arc really kind of stuck with me. It was probably one of the most overt examples of the mask that we see amongst the various characters in FF6. And the idea of someone who basically is pulling an Olivier without being irritating. That appealed to me, so I kept using him. Usually turned him into my mage type. Sometimes I'll use a character because they just have cooler animations, right? That's actually a semi-common thing in a lot of games. Also, yeah, Setzer is very technically the most actual damage you could do per turn in FF6. Like, if you really, really, really tunnel down to the no-really min-maxing, you can do an absolutely stupid amount of damage with Setzer. Per turn. But, bonus points. Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking we're going to go do data crystals, then we'll talk to Russell. Okay, so the engine. Ship might be functional in a minute. Yeah, Fire Emblem, the few Fire Emblem games I've played, I usually bring someone because of their job, quite frankly, because they're unit type. But every now and again, there's someone I just think is cool. Like, in Three Houses, oh god, Bernadetta. Obviously, she was a death machine, because we turned her into a sniper from hell. But if you remember, that happened after we started bringing her. We turned her into that. I kept bringing Bernadetta because I liked Bernadetta. She was a cool character. I liked her character. I liked her personality. The end, right? So I brought Bernadetta and then turned her into death. Bernadetta, if you will. And yeah, exactly with this letter. Some people enjoy the challenge of bringing someone who is objectively a worse character. And then, fixing that. Going back to Setzer, most of his stat gains, well, stat gain doesn't exist in FF6. Most of his stats in FF6 are relatively low. He's not very good offensively. He's not very good defensively. You can turn him into whatever, because it's FF6. So, Oops. The first barrier had activated successfully, and we had succeeded in performing a temporal freeze upon the Oriole in another dimension. However, I was not the only barrier with the plan to seal the Oriole. The plan's final defense line, the second barrier. The key to that lies within the forward device tower. The mechanism is built to activate, should the first barrier fall and time once again tick in the space of the Oriole. The second barrier's other name is the gravity barrier, and it can manifest gravity inside the other dimension. Should the Oriole resume activity by tying this other dimension down with the linchpins of gravity, the goal is to prevent its return to reality. If the second barrier activates, it signals that the Oriole is once again active. As a result, with its Gospels, anyone will be free to draw out its power. The Gospels remain on the Libra Arc, were sealed within the Oriole. However, should something that would serve in the place of Gospels be born in the world to come, the Oriole will be free to wield the power in reality once again. We succeeded in sealing the Oriole, but its power has not been destroyed. We'll root ourselves to this land and watch over the Oriole. I pray that we will be successful in our vigil, and these records will never be seen by any eyes. However, we are steadfast in our duty. We predict that that will not be our future. When the Oriole once again returns to reality, how will our descendants choose to respond? Believing that we will not make the same mistake again, and the time will come when we are truly free of the Oriole, I'll leave these records for the future. There, she's fully upgraded. Still, 73% change in DNA over 1,200 years. That is impressive. How much have you been inbreeding exactly? Asking for a friend. Inbreeding, always with the inbreeding. Ridiculous. Sorry, I'm actually thinking about this because, you know, this is my final party setup here. So forgive me. But as for Weissman's goal, other than just being able to torture, like I said, I think he wants Tranquility Lane. I think that's actually his goal. Yeah, I'm hoping I can muddle through Luke Slaughter. I'd hate to cheat here just to see a few extra cutscenes. Because I do not have the Sepith to do that, and I am not grinding for it. Yeah, Chloe and Oliver for first floor, Zane for the second floor, Sheriff for the third floor, Tita for the fourth floor, Joshua for the fifth floor. I have a list. Yes, I just finished reading them all. Yeah, this is probably the actual final dungeon. It is 5 floors. So I don't know how long it'll be, and it'll probably have cutscenes on every single floor. Damn it, Gilbert. Okay, now we have access to revive and full heal as a spell. And an AoE restore, and a couple other things. We should have access to a lot on her, which is the point, of course. No, Melkor Blade. I think his goal was a lot more banal. I think he just wanted to kill absolutely everything. Like, seriously, Seymour was, like most of the other heads of that group, were very death worshipy, for lack of a better way to put that. Pretty much, Mr. Red. Pretty standard case of, what is that, misanthropy or whatever? I don't mean that as an insult, just like that's what that was. Life sucks, therefore everyone should die. I don't think we've even seen that spell. Yeah, exactly. Accelerationist misanthrope, excuse me. Let's see how this does. Decent. Could be worse. Imagine you're like some kind of ancient AI dedicated towards destroying all of reality. In a war that stopped years ago. That'd be fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, I figured. Yep, sorry. Sin's toxins. Nothing I do is my fault.
Come on!
I like we're just slowly pushing him into the corner. Nice timing on that heal.
Now you know how it feels!
Sorry. Sin does not have toxins. The myth came from the idea that because Sin and almost all of the Sin monsters are actually pyreflies, concentrated pyreflies can mess with you. So the presumption was that there was some kind of toxin involved, but there obviously isn't. Even the pyreflies aren't a guarantee. This is what the heart of the city looks like inside. Reminds me of an Orbman in some ways. What the heck is glowing liquid? I've never seen anything like that before. Sure, Lieutenant Lyra. You don't actually need my permission for that, but thank you for asking. So that's a liquid medium for concentrated orbital power. I wouldn't touch it barehanded. Why not? Ah! I love dungeons where I can't change the camera. I saved some coffee for you, but then it was taken in a mugging. I'll have you know, if you take multiple items from the same chest, the economy would collapse. Oh no, it's a mimic. Prepare for battle. No? Oh, frost slime, sorry. Might as well give him the barrel 3. Why not? While we're here. So we're just gonna go through all this. Hit the mobs as we go. I mean, Final Dungeons are either ancient civilization stuff or guts levels. Gotta love a guts level. I've decided to be worried about that. Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus. Okay, hang on. We go recruit Schwartz and Mueller. I have no reason whatsoever to do so, but, you know. Let's go going back to that discussion about multiple party members again, I think. A battlefield final dungeon? I was gonna say, the closest we probably... Jesus Christ! Closest we've ever come to that is probably the airship graveyard in Tactics, and that's... well, pathetic, honestly. Does this debuff make me look fat? Oh my god, there's 2 of them. They don't have much health. So that's good. I think we'll be okay. Yeah, 12 could have done that. But, you know, screw us.
Wanna see what I got? Ha! Yeah! Yeah! Too slow! Hope for Wheel of Time!
Goodbye. Could you stop doing that, please?
Nicely done.
Olivier just got chain 3. I think it's all of them. Okay, at least that was worth it. A new melee weapon for one of my biggest melee damagers. If we're counting MMOs, that actually changes the answer quite a bit. Although I suppose most MMOs aren't JRPGs like a 14 is, so never mind. Do I care about this treasure? Not sure that I do. Oh, I guess I literally don't care about the treasure then. Well, since I'm 15 minutes into my lunch break... So I'm debating if I want to not break. Really want to finish this game today. I really want to finish this game today. I'll take a short break. How's that sound?